Hello, I'm Scott McBain. Hope you've enjoyed Wide World of Sports this afternoon. Stick around. Coming up, 90 minutes of football. We'll take you live to the Brighton Road Oval to see the Tigers to battle with the Magpies. Our live last quarter in just a tick. The 1992 SANFL football telecasts are brought to you by the South Australian Brewing Company, makers of West End Super and Agostino Mitsubishi.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Glenelg Oval for this magnificent clash between Port Adelaide and the Tigers. And I can tell you it's been a beauty from the outset. The first quarter was played at the most amazing pace, and there was a report young Brosnan for Port Adelaide was reported for a rather untidy tackle. Let's take a look at the scoreboard so we can inform you as to what is happening here at the Bay Oval. In the first quarter, it was Glenelg leading by 1 point. Then Port Adelaide exploded in that second term to take a 23-point lead. And at three-quarter time, it's the Magpies by 20 points. But the scores did get to about 10 points the difference about 5 minutes before the quarter ended. Let's take a look at the leading goal kickers. For Glenelg, Michael Murphy's kicked 5, Clayton Land has kicked 2, and for Port Adelaide, Tyler, in fact, I think has kicked 6 now. Yes, Tyler has kicked 6. He kicked one just on the siren, and Brosnan has 2. So as I mentioned, it's been a tremendous game. It's good to be out in the suburbs again. You certainly know you're amongst the crowd. It's been very vocal. There's been a lot of atmosphere. And a crowd I would estimate to be around 8,000 to 10,000 people. And Ian Day, you're a better judge than me, but it's a healthy crowd anyway.
Kim, I'm like you. I think it's been a marvellous afternoon. There's been a big crowd. I would judge it as over 8,000. And the turf in magnificent condition. You won't get a better afternoon than this. And to top it all off, we've been put on an excellent game by two traditional rivals, Port and Glenelg. There was a bit of aggro in the first quarter. As Kim told you, young Brosnan was reported, and it was a typical Magpie Bay clash. But at one stage there, Port Adelaide looked like they were running away. At one stage, they got 23 points back. But through the hands of Michael Murphy, who pulled down 2 huge grabs for goals in that third quarter, he sparked the Bay revival, but Port Adelaide fought back towards the end of it, and now they've got a 20-point advantage. And Kim, I think Port Adelaide have arrested the initiative and are looking the better side at the moment.
There's no question of that. They have a 20-point advantage. There's been some great individual duels. Rowan Smith had the job of looking after David Marshall on the outer wing, and he beat Marshall, and Marshall's now been moved to the centre of the ground. And that's where they were breaking down the Tigers in the second term. They couldn't get the ball out of the centre square, but they turned it around in that quarter, but they just couldn't make the most of their opportunities.
Kim, I think they started to read where young Brett Chalmers was knocking the ball. His has been a superlative effort, and he's close to best man on the ground again. But what was happening is, in that quarter, the Bay started to read where he was thumping the ball, and they were taken out the centre. And at one stage, it was 10 each. And so that's what got them back into the game. But once again, Port have woken up to it. They've changed their tactics. They brought Mead into ruck. They gave Hughes a run. Chalmers into the bunker for a while. They've pulled the moves, and they've edged away again. But whatever you say, it has been a superb game.
No question of that, and players are getting in position now for the start of this final term. Just repeating those scores once more: Glenelg 9-7-61, Port Adelaide 11-15-81. And play is almost in readiness for the start of this final term. It should be a beauty. It is the top side, Port Adelaide, against Glenelg in 5th position, and always some pretty tough rivalry between these two clubs. We now go to your commentator, Ian Day, for the start of the final term here at the Bay Oval.
Just having to get some young, enthusiastic supporters off the ground at the southern end. Great to see, being out in suburbs again, as Kim said, at Brighton Road. The siren sounds. The young stars of tomorrow are just leaving the ground, as you can see. But it's great that they can come out on the ground and look at their heroes at three-quarter time, and everything in readiness now for a great last quarter. Port Adelaide 11-15. The Bay's 9-7. In ruck is Chalmers. Against him, coming from the left, will be Stuart McCulley. And umpire Kevin Chambers holds the ball aloft to get the final quarter underway. Chalmers from the right, McCulley from the left, who stands to deliver. Taps it down. Chigwidden gets it over now. Kretschmer. Mansell through the half-forward line. Oh, it's a terrible kick. Delaney can't believe his luck. Thornborough went out on a lead. and missed him by 50 metres. Delaney's kick is higher than longer. Off the fingers of Russell. Thornborough's in there. Now here's a chance. Chigwidden gets it back to Kretschmer on the left leg towards the boundary line. Lamb on his left leg, dummies. Gives it away now. Russell, is it? Shoots for goal. I think he's got it. Kretschmer it is. He's come down from centre wing and kicked an unbelievable goal. His first. And the Bays get back in the fight.
Well, there's only 14 points the difference. Have a look at this. Now, there's a bit of experience here. Clayton Lamb, he didn't panic. He held back. He gave the handball out towards Kretschmer. And with kick number 13, he drilled it from a pretty acute angle. And as I mentioned, only 14 points in this game. And I've got the feeling it's going to go right down to the wire. It's been hard and tough. It's been a beauty at the Bay.
At the bounce. Chalmers against McCulley again. Important who takes the ball out of the centre. McCulley thumped it further than most people can kick. Returned by Rezonico back upfield. Brosnan almost took it. He's down in a heap. Still got the football but can't get away. And the umpire will come and ball it up on the half-forward line for Port Adelaide. Darren Smith has played a superb game, as has Mark Tyler with his 6 goals. Rowan Smith has done a lot of valuable work too. Once again, the players can't get clear, and another bounce on the half-forward line of Port Adelaide.
Port Adelaide trailed by 1 point at quarter time. They led by 23 at half-time, 20 points at three-quarter time. They now lead by 14 points in the bounce across the half-forward line. McCulley wins the tap. John Cale, I think he's done a pretty good job coaching today. He saved young Chalmers for this last term. He's given him a spell in the third term. And I tell you what, he's a player with a big future, Chalmers. Umpires officiating are Kevin Chambers and David Elliott. Kevin Chambers about to bounce the football. McCulley wins the tap. It goes down to Marshall. I mentioned before he was beaten by Smith on the wing. He's now playing in the middle. Lyndon Bowe, he thrashed David Hutton today. That's about his 10th kick. Puts it down. Murphy's been a star. He couldn't take it. He now has Danny Hughes to contend with, who started on the bench. The ball goes out to Rowan Smith. Drops in a short pass. He finds Mark Williams. Plays on quickly to Buckley. Buckley drives it into the goal front. One-on-one battle. This time Duthie from behind. And that's been a classic battle. But Tyler the victor with 6 goals to date.
The move to Hughes onto Michael Murphy has been good. He showed young Julian Burton a clean pair of heels. Mead had troubles as well. And now the experience of Hughes will be just what Port Adelaide needs. Back towards the line for another throw-in. This time only 2 or 3 metres around from the behind post. 11-15 plays 10-7. The Bays led by a point at quarter time, but ever since then have been playing catch-up football. McCulley tries to knock it away. Chigwidden gets it out. Hamish Stewart. Mansell comes back into Chigwidden, sets him up. Not a good one at all. Kretschmer's got to work hard. Chigwidden through down he goes. The umpire said play on. Comes out to Rowan Smith, clear on the half-forward line. Chips out the pass, Tyler on the lead. Oh, what a great pass, Rowan Smith. Tyler, 30 metres, acute angle.
He's kicked 6 goals, 1. And as I mentioned, he's had the better of Duthie. Duthie's done some useful things, but this man's been in great form.
4th mark, 8th kick. Oh, that's going across the face of goal. In fact, goes right across for just 1 point only, and the Bay supporters breathe a sigh of relief. 11-16, 10-7, 3 minutes into the final quarter.
Ross Gibbs will wait for the ball to come back from the crowd. Gibbs has been fairly steady today. He gave away a silly 50-metre penalty in the first term, which gave a gimme goal to Adrian Setri. He's had 10 kicks, and as usual, he's done some fairly brilliant things and a few ordinary ones as well. But he's been a great player for the Tigers over a number of years. Puts the ball out wide, and the mark's been taken by McCulley in front of Chalmers, who looks a little bit proppy. In fact, he may have a corky, Chalmers. He doesn't look to be moving that well. Marshall puts the ball out to Lamb, tried to take the grab too deep, couldn't do so. Loose ball, Brosnan looks for the free kick and gets one. No play on advantage. And we're in the Glenelg grandstand here, and they are not happy with the decision, but he was held. Not for a long time, but long enough.
Alan Gill, the runner's out to Chalmers to see what the damage is.
Yes, and it would be a concern. He was a star in the first half. Brosnan's had a good game since the quiet first quarter. Everyone up too early. Smith takes it, gives it to Bond. He's kicked 2 points, and he's kicked his first goal.
Look out for horsepower. And when you get your copy, keep it. Because inside is everything you need to know to join in the fun of the West End Adelaide Cup Carnival. Plus, you could win a Gold Coast holiday flying handset, clothing from Bonnets, fashion from George Cross and Harry Hu, West End prizes, and hundreds of family race day passes. Check this lucky number at the track during each day of the West End Adelaide Cup Carnival. It pays to take your horsepower with you.
It pays to get back to the track.
Geneva booted his first. That hurt the Bays. 12-16 to 10-7. Geneva's first. McKay through. Been a superb player. Buckley gets a ground covering kick up towards full forward. Oh, Tyler! Oh, he did that so brilliantly. That's 7. And that is going to make it extremely difficult for the Bays.
Oh, that's going to make it very tough for the Tigers, but since that first term, every time someone has posed the question for the Tigers, Port Adelaide have had the answer. Let's take a look at some scores. Progress scores. The Eagles 13-11 over Central 11-7, so a close one at Football Park and a close one at Richmond too. West Adelaide 15-6, 2 goals leaders over Norwood 13-6. And North Adelaide, oh, they're doing it on the bit against the Double Blues, 19-6 to 7-8. And the final score, gee, the Crows, that's a sad sight, 32-18. The Crows 12-15 as Rowan Smith goes forward. But there's Gibbsy and a bit of that magic again.
32 goals, 15 the Crows. One last one here at the course. Port 13-16 to 10-7. Ross Gibbs to repel the attack. Now, Port Adelaide on top. The Bays got to come back. McCulley up. Hutton through. Robbie Thompson back to Mansell. The bodies go in. He's clear. He's on his wrong foot. Oh, he dummied and lost the footing. Lyndon Bow under pressure. Screws one in towards the half-forward line. Well done, Julian Burton. Slips it back. That was not a good handball. Marshall at the bottom of the pack. They use him as a doormat. But the umpire will come in and bounce at centre wing. 13-16 plays 10-7. Chalmers is still limping, but he's still out there. At the bounce, McCulley comes over the top. Chalmers still got the knock. Jenner onto the boot quickly. Had a superb first quarter. Setri against Gibbs. Gibbs the experience. Setri the pace as he works the ball to the line. Ball Hayes goes for goal. He's 35 metres out. Gives it a chance. Goal!
Sean Connery.
I found a cure for the plague of the 20th century, and now I've lost.
And Lorraine Bracco.
I heard about your wife.
She left me. I wished you'd follow her example.
2 scientists about to discover a basic law of nature.
What do you want?
A real Navarre.
Opposites attract.
Why are you staring at me?
I've never seen a virgin of your maturity.
What?
Medicine Man.
.14-16 plays 10-7. The Magpies starting to career away with it. McCulley gets it back towards Salisbury, can't control it. Oh, big sweep there by Rosonico. More gymnastic than effective. Geneva to Piarchi. Port Adelaide irrepressible now, coming home with a wet feather. Gibbs again. The umpire said it was touch. Ball Hayes has run down. David Hutton in there, gets it from Tyler. They go down the heap. Duthie back in defence, can't get the ball out. And the umpire will ball it up in the full forward left pocket. Well, Port Adelaide have only lost that one game this year. 6 wins and a loss. Lost a close one to their foe, the Bloods, West Adelaide. But the Bays hanging perilously at the moment with 3 wins and 3 losses. Smith had an airy. The umpire said he was lagged. Free kick. Oh, good place to get a kick. 30 metres out, 45-degree angle.
He's only kicked 1 point so far. Hamish Stewart's done a pretty good job. Smith's taken a few grabs, but his footwork's been a little bit untidy today. But he's taken 6 grabs, and he's a chance to post his first goal from about 35 to 40 metres out.
Smith from that 45-degree angle. He stabbed at it, but he stabbed it through. And Port Adelaide get another one. That could be game, set, match. 15-6 to 10-7 on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Well, there's plenty of time. We're only 8 minutes into this final term, but it may be good night, Dick, to the Tigers. They trail by 39 points. And when you consider they got within 14 in the opening stages of this last term, but Darren Smith awarded a free kick. That man not happy. He's been under the microscope. He's been the subject of much speculation, and he doesn't look happy at the moment.
Neither would I if I was 39 down. Oh, big knock, Chalmers. In there's Robbie Thompson. The handball goes astray, but finally they get out of it through Mackay and Mansell towards the half-forward line. Hughes back in defence. Probably lost it in the sun. Fiarchi. Oh, he's going to run himself into trouble. Got out of it beautifully. Rosonico from the defensive corner of the square. Goes for Smith again. Smith looks for a runner. No pressure put on him at all. Up towards the half-forward line. But there it's Gibbs once again in defence, who takes this time an easy defensive mark. They take the ball across goal. I don't know whether they're going to achieve much. Oh, want to be a one grab here. Amos Stewart under pressure. Quickly enters Bond, joined by Borlase. They've blown it. Rowan Smith, 45 out, gives it a ride again. And he's just offline for 1 point only. But that was not good defensive work from the Bays.
No, and it's just a little bit of touch of authority and arrogance about Port Adelaide's game at the moment, and that spells even bigger danger for the Tigers. They've tried hard, but they've been outclassed thus far. They should have had a bigger lead in the first term, but to Port Adelaide's credit, they've stuck in there. There's been some great individual efforts. McCulley at the bottom of the pack. Umpire David Elliott will have to bounce. We're just past the 10-minute mark of the final term. Glenelg 10-7, Port Adelaide 15-17, so it's 27 scoring shots to 32. And a healthy lead to the Pies. Fist away by Bartlett. Goes down towards Bow. Doesn't have a look. Just throws it onto the boot. Murphy underneath it. Hughes forces it over the line. Well, as Ian mentioned, Port Adelaide have only lost one game. And John Cahill looking a little more comfortable there and just chewing a little more freely as McCulley wins the tap down towards Lamb. He has the handball over towards Mansell. He's pretty good at kicking goals. He lines them up. But that's not an accurate one. Well, he kicked the first score of the game with a similar opportunity, and he missed, and he's missed again. So he kicked 9 against 2 weeks ago, but no accuracy today.
Didn't need that bounce. It just placed a little bit more pressure on him. Buckley stands his ground, lost the football. Mansell in there, can't get it out, and umpire David Elliott will come in and bounce in the attacking division for the Bays. Darren Smith off. He's gone straight down the race. Don't know who's returned. We'll pick that up for you in a moment. McCulley, Marshall, quickly onto his boot. Lamb using his body well. Northeast used it just as well. Bow through, trying to hook it round the corner. Gives a chance to Chigwidden. The ball sits for him. He's in business. Great tackle for Archie. Holding the ball. Well, he didn't get a huge chance to get rid of it. But I suppose the sidestep gives you a chance to get it. And Fiarchi, ever the man to tackle well, and he's got the free kick in the back pocket, kick number 15.
Well, the bottom line is that Chigwidden tried to beat the tackle and he couldn't do it, so it was a good decision. Hutton in there. He's been a quiet player. Sentry's worked hard, low to the ground. Genova taken out of it. He got the handle out to Brosnan, who tried to farm it out towards Buckley. He got a terrible bounce. Brosnan, like a little pit terrier, over the top of the football. Now the kick goes back from Thompson. Genova there. Shepherd from Borlase. There's the pass out towards Tyler. He's found him. Well, they're looking pretty good at the moment. Timmy Genova, I think that's a fairly large smile on his face. Genova's 20th kick just found the waiting hands of Mark Tyler, who has an opportunity to kick goal number 8. Kick on its way. Goes to the left. The umpire goes back to the middle. That's a pretty healthy total.
131166. 131166.
When you hunger for a delicious change, phone Pizza Hut. We deliver just about everywhere in next to no time.
131166. Pizza Hut delivery.
If you're looking for a house or land down south, just look here. The Barry Burrows Free House and Land List, giving you the actual address details and prices of all their properties. It's updated weekly, and best of all, it's free. From any Barry Burrows office 7 days a week.
Port Adelaide, 16 goals, 17. Glenelg, 10 goals, 8 as the Magpies go forward again. And Mark Tyler has kicked 8 goals, 2 this afternoon. The ball goes down towards Borlase. a useful performer. He's kicked 2 goals, 1. And there is that scoreboard again, 16-17. Plays 10-8. Fisk goes straight down towards Hutton. He hasn't had many kicks. He puts this one up high. Which way will it bounce? Gibbs gets back there in time. Yeah, Ball Ace has had 14 kicks today as Gibbs puts this one out wide to Duthie. Duthie in turn to Kretschmer. Kretschmer takes a bounce. Smith in pursuit. He gets the kick away. Mackay is back there. So too Chigwidden. Fiachi hot in pursuit. The ball goes back to Hallahan. Hallahan drives it in and he finds Clayton Lamb. The former West Adelaide captain outside the 50 mark puts it in. And the mark not taken. And that was directed in towards Russell. And once more Port Adelaide will get out of trouble through Rowan Smith.
Goes to the half-forward line. Oh, Setri is blatantly pushed in the back after he couldn't take the ball. He gives it across to Rowan Smith, who's been a great contributor. The pass underway. In defence, it's Robbie Thompson. Centre half back. The Bays have got no answer at the moment. Duthie has come up ground. He's got one to beat. He'll go over to Hamish Stewart. Lyndon Bowe, he's going to have to get rid of this in a hurry. Salisbury on the half volley out wide now is Hallahan. He's made him chase it. Fiachi after him. Hallahan needs to sit on the left leg. Kick number 15 goes round the corner. Thornborough up over the top but can't bring it down. Murphy in there. Thornborough hooks for goal and he has got it. I think the Bays ever needed that as Thornborough beats his first.
Yes, good goal to Thornborough. Let's take a look at some other scores. The Eagles 13-11. Trailing Central 15-8, so they've arrested the lead away from the Eagles at Football Park. And West Adelaide 19-6, Norwood 15-6, so the Redlegs look like they have the job ahead of them. As we go to the North Sturt match, North doing it easy, 21-8, Sturt 8-10. And Geelong, well, that's a sad and sorry side, 32-18. The Crows only 12-15.
Yeah, they don't have to put that up again this afternoon, thank you. Julian Burton through. Oh, Chigwidden with courage. Salisbury gets it out. Here's a chance now. Kretschmer gets it over to Lamb. Pushed as he kicked it, but I think he's got it again. Lamb boots number 4.
If you want to see Top Gun bodies, turn the heat up for you. Gonna get your heart pumping while the center will do. See all the great cars sparkle inside. See them do the golden mile in the speed of time.
Real horsepower hits town Adelaide Cup weekend as Wayville comes alive with 50,000 horsepower. The Advertiser Hot Rod and Street Machine Spectacular, May 15th to 18th.
If you want to see Top Gun bodies, turn the heat up for you.
Can the Bays get back? 12-8 play, 16-17. Buckley takes it out of the centre again, drops it in towards Tyler. Off the finger, Setri on the left leg. Will bounce it through. What a goal to the Rover. Boots his second and Port Adelaide kick back quickly.
Well, the name of the game is to get the ball out of the centre square, and that certainly happened. Chalmers put it down the throat of Buckley. He drove it in long. Underneath it was Tyler, couldn't take it. Getting the crumbs as he has all day was Setri. Jammed it on the left boot, and with his 13th kick, he posted his second goal. And if the Tigers had some slim chance, I think it's disappeared now.
Port Adelaide starting to get the ascendancy out of that square again. It's Mead in ruck against McCulley. McCulley gets the tap to Chigwidden, who couldn't grab it. Ginnivan can. Over the head now there. Oh, Setri, high tackle. The umpire said he's going to get a free kick. Well, I think he ran underneath the arm of, almost underneath the arm. Mark Williams wants to take it on with Bartlett, but whatever. The short pass is going into Borlase. Brosnan at the back of the pack. He's only got to find it. Borlase in again. He's lost the football, and they'll come away through Mansell. He's played well since coming onto the ball. Marshall, who seems to be a little tired, has died out of the game. Mead too tall. Scoops it. That was a throw. Umpire on the blind side. Close to the line for a throw-in. But no question, the umpire could not see that from where he was situated.
I think he let the crowd know he couldn't see it. After they all yelled, he shielded his eyes from the sun as if to say it was the sun's fault. And maybe it was too. Marshall struggled today. He gets the kick forward. Thornborough in there. He snapped the goal for the Tigers. Down to Mansell. I agree with Daisy. He's worked pretty hard in their second half. That goes out to Chigwidden. I'd say Chiggy's too far out to score, even though he's inside 50. The breeze is favouring the Northern End just slightly. Not a bad-looking kick, though. Underneath it, taking the mark is Murphy. Well, he's kicked 5, 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. This will be a tight angle. But he does have a chance to kick his 6th goal. And put a little bit of respectability on the scoreboard at the 19-minute mark. As David Hutton leads the ground, and coming back on is Mark Dittmar. The kick with Murphy, kicks into the man on the mark, and only a point results.
Murphy's played well, extremely well, had a brilliant third quarter when almost single-handedly he got the Bays back into the game. But he hasn't had the opportunity, and also with Danny Hughes being on him, the opportunities haven't come so thick and fast. Hughes over the top, Mansell smothered. Piarchi out of the pack, hooks around the corner, up towards the half-forward on off the fingers, Thompson. Well done to Mackay. He's been a fine contributor as he finds Kretschmer. No, Salisbury it is. Salisbury comes in short. Marshall. Now, what can the Bays do from here? They need goals and they need them in a hurry. Marshall off on that left leg, puts it out in front of Russell. Well put, he gets it at the second grab. This way, has to hook back around the corner. Not a bad-looking shot, but he can't hook it back far enough. And it's 1 point only. Well, Russell started in the back pocket, Kim, and he's gone to full forward, and the Bays have struggled there all afternoon.
Yes, we saw him at full forward a little bit last season, and he played pretty well in defence, but as you mentioned, there's been a number of players rotating around in that full forward area. We've seen Thornborough there, Russell there, Seabohm started there. In his testimonial game, he was dragged, I think, in the first quarter. He may have been injured, but he didn't appear to be. Mind you, he hasn't come back onto the ground, so maybe he is injured. Bartlett is there. It's socket off the ground by Ball Ace. The loose ball goes out towards Gibbs. There's 2 players to beat. Couldn't get an effective handball away. It's socket off the ground and intelligently done by Bartlett. Now the handball goes out towards Thompson. He was dispossessed. Brosnan's been a good player in the last 3 quarters. The ball goes out to Dittmar. Can he kick his first goal? No, he can't. He is just offline. So Mark Dittmar, who came into the side at the expense of the injured Bruce Abernathy, posts his 2nd point.
Duthie changed direction. He was coming this side, but Mansell got covered. Now he's going out to Chigwedden. Oh, he left it for Bartlett, who was never there. Coming out with the ball is Bond in short. Ball eyes, courage, head up, eyes on the ball all the way. And there was nothing that the Bay defender could do about it. 15th kick, Ball eyes, Kretschmer over the top. Giving away a few centimetres, mind you. But Ball eyes, who's always been a good goal shooter, has got the chance now from about 40 out where he kicks. 12 goals for the season, plus 1 he's already got today. I think he's hooked that one offline. In fact, it won't even make the distance except off the fingers, and that's 1 point only. 17-19 to 12-10. That's 36 scoring shots to 22. And therein lies a story of ascendancy.
Well, in a game that promised to go down to the wire, that hasn't turned out to be the case. Brosnan nearly took it. It has been Port Adelaide far too strong. Chigwedden gets the handball out towards Kretschmer. He's tried hard all day. And a pretty good player for the Tigers. Puts the ball out looking for Hallahan. Hughes is there. He's far too strong and tall. Gets a handball out towards Burton. He's been a quiet player. Delaney over the top to Geneva. Geneva's been a good player. Had a sensational first term. Drops it into Ball Ace. The handball's not an accurate one. It goes back towards Mansell. He puts it up high. Murphy has to go back into the pack. It's picked up by Lamb. He's on the wrong foot, which is the right foot. But he finds Russell, who finishes off with a very tidy goal, and that's his first.
Well, even though Daryl Mansell just blazed away when he got the football, very poor handball from Borlase there. He just blazed away. Have a look at the dash of Lamb as he goes through. Murphy provided the strength in there, and that's a perfect pass, and off goes Russell into the open goal to register his first, and the Bay's 13th goal.
And every time the Tigers goal, the music comes on, and so do the young dancing girls. Unfortunately, it's only happened on 13 occasions today, and that's not enough because Port Adelaide have kicked 17 goals. Mansell goes forward again. Murphy front of the pack. Hughes in the middle. He's the destroyer. Down to Hallahan. Taken by Murphy. He's on the left boot. He snaps towards goal. It looks like it's pretty good. Oh, this is a great effort by Murphy. He's kicked 6 goals today.
Eagles 14-14 in the last quarter. Progress score only, of course, against Central's 15-9. Gee, that is close. Only 1 point the difference. West clearing away against Norwood 21-7 to 15-6. That's going to be a marvellous win. North killing Sturt 25-9 to 9-10. That'll be North's second in a row. And I asked not to have that one put up again, but you can see Geelong annihilated the Crows.
Back here, Port Adelaide doing it well. 121 to Glenelg 94, but they haven't laid down Glenelg. They've kept trying as the ball is put in towards Thornborough. 27 points the difference, and we're a minute and a half away from time on, which suggests they won't have enough time. At least they're going to go down fighting. Thornborough will kick from right on the 50-metre line. It's a wobbly one at plenty of distance. The accuracy not there. 14-11, Glenelg. Port Adelaide 17-19.
Sun sinking in the west. Shadows lengthening over Brighton Road. But it's been a great afternoon for football, I can tell you. Danny Hughes. Football is still alive in South Australia when two teams like this can provide top entertainment. Bartlett will go out wide to Mansell. Korechmir gave him the break. He's coming back in now to Marshall. Pretty well stop-start football. Players are a bit tired. Probably understandable. But they put an early Mackay. Oh, he's got Clayton Lamb clear out here on the other side. And he's got the ball easily. Now, Lamb's into a breeze. He's at the 50-metre mark. He had Chigwitten in the pocket, but it's pretty congested now. He's going to have to shoot for goal. Callahan's in there. Off goes Thornborough. Nah, that was never on. It was never, ever on. It was like trying to thread a needle in a haystack, and the easy defensive mark's been taken by North East.
Well, he tried to make champagne from water. It was never on. Buckley takes the mark. Hasn't dominated today like he has for most of season 92, but it still will be kick number 14. He's a real talent, is Nathan Buckley. Puts it out towards the veteran in Mark Williams. Hooks one around his body. That's kick number 10. He did a fairly quiet day, and Hamish Stewart takes the mark. We've hit time on here at the Bay on Brighton Road. There's some disappointed Tiger supporters here, and that's due to the tenacity of the Magpies as Buckley puts his side forward with kick number 15, and Tyler takes it right down the throat. Well, he's kicked 8 goals, 8-goal-2 in fact, and he's having a magnificent season. He was given another chance at full forward early in the year, and some say it was perhaps his last chance to make the grade, and by gee did he grab it by the throat this time. Chance for number 9. Casual approach, just leant back on it a bit, and he has a tally of 8-3 now.
43 for the season, and Port Adelaide have certainly found themselves a spearhead. It's good the way the players upfield, though, look for Tyler, and he doesn't let them down. He did on that occasion, but on 8 occasions this afternoon he hasn't. Long kick to the outer side off the fingers. Getting back on it now is Visca. The handball out. Hallahan, he's worked hard. McCulley. Marshall's going to have to work hard for this. Stands his ground. Oh, that was courage. Thought about Kretschmer. He had him going back. Oh, Hallahan, he missed him by half a metre. Rosonico makes sure that he doesn't take the ball away. Throw in, centre wing on the outer side. 17-20 to 14-11. Into time on to the final quarter. Superb performance by Port Adelaide. It'll be 7-1, 7 wins, 1 loss after today. Hallahan grubbers one in towards the half-forward line of the Bays. Down goes Thompson, and a heap bow over the top. With him there is Setri, or is it Brosnan? It is, and the umpire will ball it up in the centre.
Umpire David Elliott, who's officiated with Kevin Chambers today, and they've done a pretty good job. It was a very fiery match in the opening quarter. Thornborough looking what to do with the football before he actually had it. Now Chigwitten back to Thornborough, puts it up high. Murphy likes these ones, but he couldn't get in position. Well fisted away by Rosonico. Now the ball down towards Lamb on the left boot, and a very, very tired snapshot to goal.
It wasn't David Marshall's best handball too. Maybe he had to go in low, but Lamb, as Kim said, was a tired shot, but Lamb had to bend over for the ball, and he couldn't get it at the first grab. By the time he got back for it, he's in trouble. DeLacy out wide. Northeast against Chigwitten, who's worked hard. Setri out there as well. taken the ball out of play on the left half forward flank. 17-20 to 14-12. A pretty limp and dejected Tiger. Didn't get much to eat this afternoon. Smothered off the boot again. It's hard to see the players over there now as the sun sets on them, but I can tell you what, they're still going in. The commitment's still there, but maybe the legs aren't. A bounce down on that half forward left flank, close to full time, and it's Port Adelaide at the moment by 26 points.
Yes, and we've had nearly 29 minutes of this final term. The ball bounced on the outer side. Big fist away. But once more, the ball out of play. 14-12 Glenelg. Port Adelaide 17-20. In fact, our clock says 31 minutes. The one here at the Bay Oval says 29. So maybe the Tigers just want a few more minutes to get back into this game. But it won't help them. Mansell's tried hard. Close to the boundary line. Good tackle. And David Elliott kindly says, throw the ball in. A wry smile on the face of David Mansell. Darren Mansell, I should say, recruited from Penola. McCulley is there, couldn't win the tap though. The ball goes down towards Hamish Stewart, and once more we'll have a bounce in these dying stages of this game down at the Bay.
The crowd on their way home. Some of them have left, but certainly they've got their money's worth this afternoon. The entertainment has been superb. Hamish Stewart back there, he can't get it out. Gee, there's some tired players, I can tell you. They can hardly raise their legs. McKay, he's been an eye-opener, this young man on the half-back line. Andrew McKay has quietened a bit in this last quarter. There's the siren to end the game. No question, Port Adelaide too good on the afternoon. They finally run out winners 17-20 to 14-12. And they now have got, as we mentioned earlier, 7 wins and 1 loss. And when you have a look at the talent they've got in there, and when you consider that Abernethy didn't come out, they've got young Brett Chalmers with a huge future as their ruckman, and they've got a leading full forward in Tyler. They've got all classes in front of them.
Yes, it's been a great game of football, but Port Adelaide too strong. 17 goals, 21-22. Victorious over Glenelg, 14-12, 96. And KG, I know the Tigers are your second favourite side, but I'm sorry they weren't good enough today.
Thank you, Kimbo. Yes, you're right there. Port Adelaide certainly on a roll, playing magnificent football, and they're going to be the side to beat in season 1992. Looking at results of other games played today, of course, at the Prospect Oval, North Adelaide had a big win over Sturt, 25-9 to 9 goals, 11. West Adelaide, 21 goals, 7. Norwood, 16 goals, 7. And there you see the North Adelaide result, 25 goals, 9 to 9 goals, 11. And North Adelaide now playing pretty good football at the moment. Not a good situation for the Crows across the border, where Geelong 32-18. Gee whiz, look at that, the Crows, disastrous. 12 goals, 15. So Geelong really on a roll. The Crows have hit the low spot, and the Eagles at the moment in their game against the Bulldogs at Football Park lead by 6 points in the thriller. That's the game at Football Park. Still plenty of highlights to come your way. After the break, we'll have highlights from the Richmond Oval, also from Football Park and down at the Bay. So stay with us, folks. Back in a moment.
Clint Eastwood, one of Hollywood's hottest stars.
There's nothing like a nice piece of hickory.
Back in a classic western.
And any blood gets spilled will be on your hands.
Pale Rider.
You through?
They pray for a miracle. Then into their world he came, bringing hell behind him.
You!
Clint Eastwood in the movie masterpiece, Pale Rider, 8:30 tonight on Channel 9.
You see them in Supercross. Now come and see the big boys in the Castrol Danny Riley National Motocross event. It's spectacular racing all the way as they tear up the track in a day of non-stop action. See the stars Glenn Bell, Stephen Andrews, Kim Ashkenazi and Troy Doran. Racing starts 10 a.m. Sovioli, admission $8, family $14, concession $4 and kids under 10 free. So come and see the big boys clash at Heine Becker Sports Park, Wilkins Road, Gilman, Sunday the 10th.
Transformer is now the name behind Adelaide's most beautiful range of solid timber Federation-style bedroom furniture. Featuring more than 20 exquisite settings, these quality handcrafted beds should be shown off in your bedroom, not our showroom. So for a limited time, you can more than imagine this delightful cottage-style bed in your home. For $349, you can own it. And Federation styles are priced from only $459. For beautiful bedroom furniture, see Transformer, opposite the showgrounds.
It's time for the taste, one number to call. Pizza Haven, pizzas delivered to your door. It's the Pizza Haven way that makes it taste right. Quality and freshness in every single bite.
Now here's a real meal deal. Not one, but any 2 large pizzas plus a 1.25 litre Coke. Only $19.90. Just phone 131 2 for 1.
Turn on to the taste, one number to call. Pizza Haven, pizzas delivered to your door.
Dial 131 2 for 1 for fast free delivery.
Hunger, I hate it, good for absolutely nothing. Hunger, I hate it, good for absolutely.
Do the World Vision 40-hour famine. Call 008 331 337 now. You'll get your famine kit and help stop hunger.
Come on, let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. You can touch the world. You can touch the
Call now.
And there you see the final result down at the Bay today with Port Adelaide getting home. They led 7-10 to 4-5 at half-time, but the end result there, Port Adelaide 17 goals 20, defeating the Tigers 14 goals 12-96. That's the game down at the Bay. Let's go and look at the goal scorers for you. Firstly, for the Tigers, Murphy kicked 6, Lamb 4, and for Port Adelaide, Tyler having a super season, kicking 8, Brosnan, Setre and Borlase kicking 2 goals apiece. Let's go back live to football, should I say to the Bay, to Kim Dillon. And Kim, looking at the Port Adelaide side, they've got some good players there. Chalmers is a champion in the making, and Tyler, what a season he's having at full forward.
Yes, well, I mentioned during the call, Ken, and firstly, it is good to be out at the suburbs again. Football Park's a magnificent stadium, but it's just good to get out amongst the people again, and tremendous atmosphere here today. Now, getting back to your question, Tyler, I thought when he was put the full forward earlier in the season, it was about his last chance to show what he's got, and he certainly grabbed that opportunity by the throat. He kicked 8 goals 3 today against a very good opponent in Chris Duthie. And Duthie did some good things, but sheer weight of opportunities and some very good marking and leading by Mark Tyler saw him win the day quite handsomely. Now on to Brett Chalmers. He is a player of the future. Champion's a pretty heavy tag to throw on a kid, Ken, but by gee, he's got some ability.
He certainly has, and looking at it from the Bay's point of view, Kim, I thought there were 2 shining lights today. Murphy up forward, and I thought the boy on the half-back flank, young McKay, played a super game.
He did. He got better as the game progressed, and Michael Murphy back in town. I've been waiting for him to produce the form we know that he can, and today he did it. Some strong marking. They threw Julian Burton onto him to start with, and he completely outplayed Burton. Then Mead went there. He destroyed Mead as well. Then in the end, Danny Hughes went down there. Hughes did a pretty good job, but I think in the end, it was just lack of opportunities that prevented Murphy from kicking more goals.
Yeah, Port Adelaide certainly, Kim, appeared to me to be the side to beat. They were challenged at one stage in the third quarter by the Bays, but that experience and that run, the old Port Adelaide machine is back in business.
No question, Kenny, they've only dropped the one game. Glenelg did get within 10 points in that third term. They got within 14 at the start of the final term, but Port Adelaide had all the answers, and it was a very polished performance.
Thanks very much, Kim. That's Kim Dillon at the Bay Oval. A good performance there by Port Adelaide, and I believe that young Patrick Brosnan may in fact been reported from that game for allegedly striking John Seabone in the first quarter. OK, what's happened in Melbourne today? And there you see it. Of course, last night, City defeated the Brisbane Bears in a shocking game of football. North Melbourne defeated the Bombers. Well, there's an upset, if you don't mind. Fitzroy still in very good form there. Too good for Richmond. St Kilda beating Melbourne. And look at that score there. Geelong, 32 goals, 18. The Crows 12-15, and Graham Corns would be a very, very worried man at the moment. And tomorrow we've got the West Coast Eagles, a very important game for the Eagles at home, taking on the #1 side at the moment, Footscray. That's certainly a big occasion for the West Coast Eagles. We'll go live to Melbourne a little later to talk to Neville Roberts to try and find out exactly what's happened to the Crows. But first of all, Scotty, back to you.
Thank you, Ken. Good news for all Junior Supporter Club members too. They'll receive free entry to the SAWA State Match this coming Tuesday night. All they have to do is present their membership ticket. Parents attending with Junior Supporters Club members on Tuesday night will be admitted for $7 instead of $9. Now, our next swap cards competition has started. The question is, in what position does Stephen Williams usually play? All you have to do to enter is write the answer on the back of an envelope, post to the swap cards competition, PO Box 1, Westlakes 5021. The winner will be drawn Tuesday, May 19, and will receive a $20 gift voucher courtesy of Rowan Jarman. Now, don't forget to ask for a stamp on the back of your ticket at the Junior Supporters booth on Saturdays to make sure you're in the running for the grand final tickets for your family and club merchandise for yourself. Our Channel 9 Junior Supporter of the Week this week is young Daniel Butler of Banksia Park. He's 7, follows the Roosters and goes to school at Banksia Park Junior Primary. Daniel's picked up a footy super pass to a game of Football Park, a Hungry Jack's family meal voucher and a Kookaburra footy, and the SANFL will mail the vouchers to Daniel. good on you. Well done.
Thanks very much, Scotty. Yes, thank you, Scotty. Certainly plenty of things happening so far as footy is concerned here in South Australia. We'll take you to some highlights shortly from the game from the Richmond Oval where West Adelaide were too good for Norwood. But first of all, let's take you back to the Bay and Ian Day.
John, that was a great win. I'm sorry to worry you there. Still looking at the stats. But would that be one of your better wins?
It was a good win, Ian, but I thought we could play better. I thought we messed around and we went really too small. We can kick, too short. We can
Especially on an over like this.
Yes.
You had a bit of trouble there with Michael Murphy. You had 3 players on him.
I had 2 initially. I might have had 3, Ian. You go silly coaching.
This is right. I won't tell you where you had your players. But where did you see your performance lack today, apart from being too small? What you meant you went too short?
We played too short, indirect, and I thought players like David Hutton and Nathan Buckley across centre didn't do as well as they normally can. And they both felt that they were a bit down on form, so we can improve there.
You're getting a huge start at centre with young Brett Chalmers. He just keeps on going from strength to strength.
He is. He's really courageous, and he got a corky early, but he kept going with that. And then we threw Darren Mead, and we've got the youngsters, Paddy Brosnan and young Ditmar, Julian Burton. So there's a good influx of youngsters with senior players.
Mike Tyler still doing the job for you at full forward?
Yes, I was very pleased with him today. His competitiveness, he was in front. When the ball came one-on-one, he didn't lose his balance. He kept on his feet, so he did well.
You're starting to get into a pleasing situation. I mean, you've got the side winning so well today, which gives you a 7-1. Yes. You've got ABBA, you've got Phillips, you've got Stephen Williams.
Snorridge.
To come back on. You're starting to even get a smile on your face.
Yeah, nearly, Ian. But it was good. It was good to win today, and particularly down here because Glenelg are always hard.
Well done, John. It was a typical Bay Glenelg-Port clash, and that was great.
Thanks, Ian.
Ian Day there talking to a very happy Port Adelaide coach, Johnny Carr. Well, no doubt Neil Curley would be a happy man tonight with the performance by West Adelaide over Norwood. West Adelaide too good in the end result there. 21 goals 7. Very accurate kicking there by West Adelaide. 133 defeated Norwood. 16 goals 7. Also 103. And let's take you to the highlights.
So Baum will be opposed to Patterson. Baum took front position. Patterson from behind got the ball down. Dantokia, the handball forward. Now that ball was cleverly stolen by Scott Robertson. Off it goes now, the runner from defence, Brett James. He goes towards half forward. It's over Pittman's head. Oh, he did well to just thump that ball forward. And Pittman belts the ball again forward, which was very good play. Malloy into space, gets the handball back. Oh, Kelly in trouble. Goss. Now Pittman back to Malloy. Malloy inside 50, lifts the eyes, goes towards the goals. And it is through. The Redlegs' 9th goal, Malloy's 3rd. As the ball comes back in, Pittman, front position, got the ball down, but there's a free kick. The umpire indicated he was infringed upon. Now McIntosh with a very quick handball. That was good play. Caught West Adelaide defenders napping. The long ball to Malloy at full forward. Goss from behind was beautifully positioned. Cleverly done, Ravisi in the end. Now finally the ball goes out to Dean Botel. He goes wider still, Rashudo. The handball long to Patterson at half forward. He can go over the top. He does so. Grosser inside 50 now. The opportunity for Morris just onto the oval. He goes towards goal. He's nailed it. A large pack around the fall of that ball. It's almost like schoolboy footy. Vilke was claimed, but play on was the call as Richard Kelly got it out in the finish to Jonathan Robran. Now the Redlegs go forward. Oh, beautifully done, Dean Botel. Around the corner he goes. Not so beautifully done the kick, however. Be careful, Ravisi. Rowe with the ball. Was looking for 50-metre penalty. He's 60 out. Plays on quickly. Goes long and high. Pittman was underneath that one. Well done, Porter. Ipindo, cleverly done. Back it goes to Pittman on the left boot. He's into the open goal. Nobody home, and the Redlegs have got their 10. Finally, the Redlegs through Aish. Now Pitt towards grandstand. Halfback flank. Jones couldn't take control. O'Day was defensively looking after him. Now Carlson. O'Day was taken high, so the umpire now allows the advantage to be played. And Philip Morris, 50 metres out with the chest mark. He kicked 2 goals, Philip Morris, in the first quarter. Has already kicked 1 during this 3rd term. We've just played 20 minutes. It will need his best kick. There's very little breeze at Richmond Oval. Distance might be the problem, and then he'll need to get the accuracy. Well, it's going to lob right in the square. The big pack, in fact, there were 2 players flew, and there's been an infringement. Jonathan Robran has infringed on Patterson, said the umpire. Patterson got a push in the back, going for that mark, so he'll take a free kick from point-blank range. And Paul Patterson, back from Crow's duties, 3 goals last week. As Lester Ross comes on for the Redlegs. Mello is off. Patterson belts through his first.
And West Adelaide home by 30 points over Norwood at Richmond today. Looking at the main goal scorers for West Adelaide first. Tony Modra, a big day there, kicking 8. Fitzsimmons 4, 3 to Morris and 2 to Leon Grosser, having a marvellous season for the Bloods. And for Norwood, 5 to Jones and Malloy, 3 to Michael Ace and 2 to Pittman. Certainly a fantastic performance there by West Adelaide. We'll be talking about that game a little later with Robbie McKinnon and Anthony Pindo. And certainly some interesting comments here coming from Robbie McKinnon a little later in the program. But, Scotty, what is happening at SA Video Warehouse?
Plenty, I would imagine, Ken, particularly if you'd like a copy of the Glenelg Court game from the Brighton Road Oval today. Pop into SA Video Warehouse Monday morning, Weymouth Street in the city. Say good day to Tommy Kerr and the team. And, of course, they have all the latest movie releases as well and plenty of sporting videos. We'll take this short break. Come back with more footy in just a tick.
6:30 tonight, you'll really score.
I love men, what can I do?
Hey, it's Saturday.
Between you and Ren and Wilbur, it's just getting impossible around here.
Don't forget me.
Tonight, see Euphoria and Tommy Emmanuel. Hey, it's Saturday on 9.
This is how an ordinary camcorder sees a family reunion. Not bad until you see Sharp's wider picture. Introducing Sharp Twin Lens, the world's first camcorder with a separate super wide lens. With 2 lenses, you can switch to close-up instantly. With 2 lenses, you can create picture-in-picture special effects. Sharp Twin Lens. 2 lenses, only 1 camcorder. You can't choose your relatives. You can choose Sharp Twin Lens. Sharp, simply the best.
There are times when the best cold drink in the house isn't alcohol and isn't sweet and fizzy. It's ice cold milk. Natural, nutritious, and nothing artificial. Pure, fresh milk.
The State Opera presents Lucia de Lammermoor at the Festival Theatre in a lavish production featuring a world-class cast. This popular work features some of the most romantic and memorable music in all opera and will be a night of grand theatre. The great New Zealand soprano Dame Malvina Major sings Lucia, and international maestro Richard Bonning conducts. With only 5 performances starting May the 16th, you are urged to book now by calling Dial and Charge on 213-4777.
Look out for horsepower. And when you get your copy, keep it. Because inside is everything you need to know to join in the fun of the West End Adelaide Cup Carnival. Plus, you could win a Gold Coast holiday flying handset, clothing from Bonnets, passion from George Cross and Harry Hu, West End prizes, and hundreds of family race day passes. Check this lucky number at the track during each day of the West End Adelaide Cup Carnival. It pays to take your horsepower with you.
It pays to get back to the track.
And welcome back to Live Football 1992. The game at the Prospect Oval today, North Adelaide winning their 2nd game in a row and a big win there. 25 goals, 9, defeating Sturt 9 goals, 11, 65. Darryl Hart kicking 9 for the Roosters and Stevenson 2 for Sturt. So a big win there to North Adelaide at Football Park. The Eagles just got home, 16-16, 112. Home by 12 points over the Bulldogs, 15 goals, 10, 100. A better performance today by the Dogs at Footy Park. The main goal scorers for the Eagles, Morford kicked 4, 2 each to Pays, Swars and Neiman. And for the Dogs, 3 to Hocking and a Chaplin, 2 each to Smith, Arnold, Mandamaker and a Tongaree. Let's now take you to the highlights from that game.
Tape at half back. Lifts the eyes. He was looking for a target. The Eagles really have very little movement up forward. Ball to ground. Tottenham got the ball out. Headland, the beautiful handball. Pyman has space, undecided where to go. Switches the direction of play. Beautifully put and clemmed inside the 50-metre line with the mark. It's the first time the Eagles have gone into attack this quarter. 2.5 minutes played. Clem 30 metres out. The angle will be tight as he kicks the ball. But it shouldn't be a difficult kick. The breeze behind him. And that's the Eagles' first. Tony Lynn for the Bulldogs from full back. Directs the play towards the outer side. Oh, great mark, Neiman. Gee, this boy's coming on in leaps and bounds. Only 21 years of age, and this might be the season where we really see him blossom. The kick is a good one. Forward it goes. Primke couldn't take the ball. Finally, Morfitt, the loose ball. The handball comes across the top. Zilla, the opportunity. Can he get clear? He's decked. Play on the call. Oh, taken without the ball on that occasion was brother Jason. Finally, the ball goes back towards the goal. Hayes was the player who kicked the ball, and that is a great goal. Forward he goes, Lounder. Oh, stolen beautifully. Stewie Tottenham, cleverly done. Now Clem. Does he have support? He does. Craig Headland, wide. Geyer, Tongaree, good smother. Gee, he covered some ground. And again, Tottenham feeds it off. Tobias. The Eagles need to stop playing this short game and go long. That's exactly what Tobias does. Hayes lifts the eyes into the open space. Beautifully put. And the marker's taken it full forward by Morfitt. So Scotty Morfitt, 2 goals last week in their loss. It was a bad loss too to Norwood. Has 21 goals for the year. Sits 3rd on the goal-kicking list after kicking 99 goals last year. He's got his first of the afternoon. The Eagles are 3 goals 7. Central 1 goal 2. From the full-back line, the Eagles bring it back in the direction of Primke. He can't take control of the ball. Gavin Chaplin, the wide handball. Back it goes. McGowan, the long ball. Forward it goes. Good mark taken. Damien Arnold. And Arnold will kick for goal from 30 metres out. And the Bulldogs are really looking for this youngster to take a game apart. I likened him to Rudy Mandamaker a few years ago. They trail currently by 16 points. A goal here will bring them back within 10, and don't the Bulldogs need it? And they've got it. So they trail by 10 points. 2 goals 3. The Eagles are 3 goals 7. Pyman changed his mind as he was going to kick that. Now brings it back inboard. Beautifully put. And Nickel at half forward with the mark. There's plenty of leads. He lifts the eyes. That's where the ball's going. Out it goes. Beautifully placed. Was on early, and Morfitt 48 metres out, almost directly in front with the mark. He kicked the Eagles' last goal. 29 minutes played. The Eagles have 10 scoring shots already this quarter. 3 goals 7 on the board. Central's 2 goals 3 have had 5 scoring shots. As Morfitt's kick, a beautifully placed kick towards the goal. That's his second. The Eagles' 4th. Lounder has won every ruck since Primke has been moved to that position. Again, he wins that one. Hocking with some explosive pace out of the centre square. Off it goes to Stevens, who really can run but has a dose of the fumbles. Tongaree inside 50 and closing. Lifts the eyes, goes goalward bound. He's belted it in.
Yes, and of course the Eagles getting home there by 12 points, and Neil Barr would be a very, very happy man about that particular win. We'll be talking with Peter Swartz and also big Rudy Mandamaker a little later in the program, and they can tell us their views on the game. But for now, let's take you to the very warm and knowledgeable Georgina Thomas in the newsroom.
Good afternoon. It's been a big day for 2 would-be Liberal leaders in South Australia. John Olsen and Dean Brown are both hoping to get back into state parliament via today's 2 by-elections. On Monday, they're expected to battle it out for the party leadership. Overseas, and the Duchess of York is preparing to move out of her family home after arriving back in London from an overseas holiday. The British press says Fergie has already decided that her marriage is over. In sport, Formula 1 driver Riccardo Patrese has survived this spectacular crash on the Imola circuit in Italy. Patrese suffered only some cuts and slight concussion. And it's been a rough day for the Adelaide Crows. They've suffered another major beating, this time at the hands of Geelong. So we'll have all the top sports stories as well as the major news of the day coming up in National 9 News at 6. I'll see you then.
Thanks, Georgie. I'll be joining Georgie on the National 9 News for all the latest in the world of sport. And, of course, just a reminder, a little later in the program, we'll go live to Melbourne and we'll talk to Neville Roberts. We believe the Crows have, in fact, been locked away. So some pretty heavy stuff in Melbourne at the moment after their thrashing at the hands of Geelong. Live with Neville Roberts a little later in the program in Melbourne. But for now, Scotty, what happened in the twos today?
That's a good question, Ken. Let's give you an answer for it. West Adelaide too good for Norwood, defeating them by 39 points. The Bays beat Port 35 points the margin there. Sturt and North had a close one. So close, in fact, that it was a draw, 92 points apiece. And the Eagles did a demolition job on Centrals, defeating them by 75 points. We'll take this short break and come back with a look at the Bays and Port match after this. 10 o'clock Tuesday, it's interstate football at its very best as the South Aussies take on the Sandgropers at Football Park, with both sides looking for a crushing victory. This will be one sensational game. Don't miss our exclusive telecast, 10 o'clock Tuesday on 9.
gone bust, and so have the prices. One of Australia's largest Chinese rug and porcelain dealers, Prince Rizwan, has been put into receivership. The receivers have appointed Kadir & Sons to sell the stock at any price. Emperor's Dragon mug with lid, $1, a joke, $1. This large, elegant decorative vase way below cost at $19. Pastel wool dowries an incredible $6. You heard right, $6. A luxurious Chinese hand-sculptured rug sacrificed at $3.99. Even cheaper, a large Persian tribal Hamadan carpet, just $299. Wayville Showgrounds, last days, closes this Sunday. Stock's limited, so hurry.
This month at Truscott's, take advantage of our great savings and at the same time, bag a bonus. Save $57 and take home an intelligent HQ Akai remote VCR and bag a bonus. How about saving $104 on this Sharp 51cm remote TV and bag a bonus? Or save $173 on a Panasonic 8x Zoom compact camcorder and bag a bonus. At Truscott's, you can save $87 on this TAC 60-watt remote mini system with CD player, and don't forget to bag a bonus. Come down to Truscott's, still Adelaide's lowest prices with 12 months interest-free terms, plus you bag a bonus. This month at Truscott's, Franklin Street and branches.
Something got me started.
8 weeks at #1 in the UK. 4 million copies sold worldwide. Simply Red's Stars.
I give it all up for you. I give it all up for you.
This man didn't care who replaced his windscreen. Now he does.
Get me windscreens, O'Brien.
Welcome back to live footy. Well, the Brighton Road Oval was the venue today for the Glenelg-Port Adelaide clash, and Port led at the big break and went on to win from there. A good win too, 17-20, 122, defeating the Bays 14-12, 96 as we check goal scorers now. Murphy finished with 6 for the Bays, Lamb 4, and for Port, Taylor 8. Great effort. Brosnan, Setri and Borlays 2 apiece. Ken.
Thanks very much, Scotty. A little later in the program, we'll go back live to the Bay Oval and we'll talk to Clayton Lamb and Tim Ginniver about that big clash at the Bay. But first of all, let's show you some highlights. Here we go.
The ball flicked on, out towards Hutton, couldn't take it. Gibbs can. It's a wobbly kick and it goes straight to Mark Williams. He goes across ground, Rowan Smith all by himself. That's one player I wouldn't leave alone. He gets back onto the left. He's found some space. He drops in a short pass and it's been found by Tyler. The Port Adelaide full forward, the leading goal kicker for the Magpies. From about 30 metres out, casual approach. And he has put it through. There's 1 point the difference.
In the big centre square, Chalmers hooked it towards his goal. Well put, Nathan Buckley. Out comes Tyler. One-handed, Dookie right there with him. In goes Russell. Out goes Tyler. Trying to get the ball out now is Borlays. Kretschmer back in defence. Now it's Buckley again. Puts it out wide. On the left leg goes Hutton, but I think he's close. Oh, he's got it. Now, Thornburr in the pocket. He's going in longer. Looking for Bartlett. Hallahan there. Gives it away now. Mansell hooks around the corner. It's a floater. Looking for it now in the goal square. Big mark, Clayton Lamb. 15 metres out. The angle is evident. And he's popped it through for his first goal.
Taken by Ginniver, perhaps Port's best in the first term, along with Fiachi and Borlays. Big push by Smith, allowed by David Elliott. Little bit illegal for mine. Brosnan inside 50, lines them up. He had plenty of time, and he's kicked accurately. The Maggies.
Duthie, big kick. McCulley underneath. Oh, Chalmers! Oh, what a set! That's his 7th mark, and that's his best of the afternoon. Unbelievable stuff.
Big fist away by Duthie. Goes down to Hallahan. Fiachi's there. McCulley punches it forward. Unfavourable bounce there for Russell. Well taken by Fiachi. Kicks around his body. Oh, dropped by Darren Smith. Picking up the crumbs is Hutton. He hooks around his body. Big lead and a grab taken by Williams. Gives it to Tyler. And I reckon Mark Williams just paying back the favour that Tyler attempted in the first term.
Through the centre line, long one. Coming to meet it now is Russell over the top. Oh, Darren Smith in the middle of the pack. And the umpire said no. Well, I thought that the Darren Smith marked that cleanly, but he's given it to Hamish Stewart. And the run on the outer side there is Mackay. Goes long. Thornbury getting underneath the ball. He's got it. Well, he never got his feet off the ground.
No, he didn't. He read it well, though, but that was a terrible decision by the umpire. That was Darren Smith's mark.
Murphy! Oh, what a mark, what courage! Out went northeast, he went back against the tide, and that is a brilliant, courageous mark, Michael Murphy. Only 20 metres out. That looks good from here. The umpire said that's goal number 3. And the Bays fight back 4-5 but trail Port Adelaide 6-8.
It certainly was a courageous mark by Michael Murphy. He was back in business today, played pretty well for the Bays, but Port Adelaide ran out winners by 26 points. Well, let's take you back to Brighton Road now and welcome Kimbo to the program once again. And Kim, I thought early in the first quarter, perhaps Glenelg didn't make the most of their opportunities.
No, I agree with that, Ken, and in fact that was going to be my first question to Clayton Lamb, who I have with me here, along with Tim Geneva. And Clayton, I thought you had most of the football in the first term, but you just squandered a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, we sort of tend to go out wide in the first quarter instead of being direct, and I think that really cost us in the end. With Port, every time they got it, they went down the middle of the ground most times, and you know, these things happen. We've got to learn to play their brand of football and hopefully improve.
Timmy, in the second quarter especially, I thought you won the game. You really set up the victory with the way you got the ball out of the centre, and that was set up by that young Brett Chalmers again.
Yeah, Brett's continuing his good form, and for a bloke that didn't get too many opportunities last year, he's matured quickly, and it's been a big bonus for us, and I think he'd have to make the state team now, I think, on Tuesday, and if he can just keep working away and getting those knocks and getting those marks, he does a lot around the ground, which I don't think other ruckmen are doing at the moment. He's getting those grabs around the ground. It's very important.
Tim, your coach John Carr was very critical of Port Adelaide's game today. He said that on too many occasions he went too short. Was that a fair criticism?
Yes, Ken, I think at times that we did go too short, and when we did go long and direct, it always came off because Tyler was on fire today.
Well, he certainly was on fire, and he's been the big difference, Tim, so far as I'm concerned. Up forward, he's given you someone to kick to.
He certainly has, and this year he's getting bags. We're a lot more disciplined as a team. We're keeping it open for him. He's on a lead. We're hitting him. He's taking one-on-one marks, and he's just doing everything right. He's had 11 shots one week, 13 the week before, so he's doing no wrong at the moment, Ken.
Clayton, on a positive side of things, Michael Murphy, I thought he was back to his best today, along with yourself kicking 4 goals. You looked a little bit tired at the end there, but looked like the Clayton Lamb of old.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good to hear. I've been a bit frustrated with injury, but like Murph, what can you say about Murph? He was absolutely fantastic today. Took every mark in his area and you know, finished him off really well.
Well, Clayton, how do you improve from here? The club's been under the microscope, along with the coach, for whatever reason, be it rumour, speculation, innuendo. There has been those things to contend with. And you had your home game at ground today. You're back at the Bay. There was a good crowd. There was plenty of hype and atmosphere. Yet you just weren't strong enough. Where do you improve now to beat sides like Port Adelaide and to climb up the ladder?
Well, I think we've got to start having a look at ourselves, you know, and also get our centre square sort of organised. I think Port beat us today in the centre, and you know, they had a bit of matured players in there, and we've still got some young players to come up, but overall, you know, we're still looking for that team pattern, and, you know, it's coming, and everyone reckons that we haven't got team pattern, but it is. We have definitely got some plan, but at the moment, we've just got to get in the right spots.
And, Timmy, you lost Abba. What was the story there prior to the game?
Well, I was quite surprised because I walked in the rooms and I couldn't see Abba's name on the board, and somebody said that he might have done a slight hammy on Thursday night because he's had a lot of back problems, and I think that may be just, you know, he's strained it because of that. It couldn't be too serious, but I think it was enough to say, you know, let's miss a game.
And the lad that replaced him, Tim, another Ditmar down at Port Adelaide, and he did pretty well.
Yes, Diddy's got a big future, I think. Has not been out of the best players this year. So, really, he hasn't put a foot wrong in the twos, and he deserved his chance today, and I hope he gets another one next week.
Well, Tim and Clayton, thanks for joining us, and also Kimbo live down there at the Bay there, but Port Adelaide, 2 good running out winners by 26 points, and we do believe that young Brosnan was, in fact, reported in the first quarter, the Port Adelaide player, for allegedly striking John Seaborn. But more of that, of course, in the coming week. But, Scotty, let's take it back to you and tell us about what's happening on Tuesday night.
State footy returns to Adelaide, Ken. 10 o'clock, you'll be able to see our delayed telecast exclusively of the South Australian-Western Australia match. Should be a great game. Speaking of great games, the one that we'll have a look at next wasn't today. Don't go away, though. We'll see what happened to the Crows after this short break.
Christopher Skase in exile.
So you're not on the run. You've had a bit of a bad back. You're safe here in Spain?
Faces Richard Carlton.
How do you plead to those charges?
To explain his lifestyle and where the millions went.
If this is bankruptcy, where do you get it?
Our Wales.
Most of it ends up in the sushi bar.
Their dinner. The new war against the Japanese. Also the city girl who inherited a nightmare and built an empire.
And it's a long way from anywhere.
Sunday on 60 Minutes.
Good food, good health. With Rebecca Gibney.
Working in television keeps you pretty busy, so our meals tend to be a bit of a rush. But I still watch what I eat. Thanks. Like this lunch. It's quick, simple, and nutritious. Just fruit and yogurt. It's got lots of vitamins and calcium, and it doesn't contain much fat, so I stay in shape. Which all adds up to a quick meal and a good meal.
Brought to you by the Australian Dairy Corporation.
You're looking good. Ooh, you're looking good. Price Attack.
Price Attack's huge hair care range includes ClearNet at only $5.95. Let our professional staff shampoo, condition, style, cut and blow dry your hair and receive $25 worth of Delva products free. Exclusive Manhattan Cosmetics, one of Europe's favorites.
You're looking good. Price Attack.
This man didn't care who replaced his windscreen. Now he does.
Get me windscreens, O'Brien.
PR Vitamin E Cream Moisturiser helps smooth and soften your entire body, is non-greasy and is rapidly absorbed. At only $3.95 for 300 grams, PR Vitamin E Cream is exclusive to PR Perfumeries and Burke's the Chemist.
Welcome back. Well, going back a few weeks ago, if you'd put North and Sturt together, you would have thought you would have got a close match, but that is not the case now. North finding plenty of form today. Had an impressive win over the Double Blues, 25-9, 159 to Sturt, 9-11-65. As we have a look at the goal kickers for North, Hart finished with 9. Great effort. Burton 4, Saliba, Barrett, Noonan and Atkinson 2 apiece, whilst for Sturt, Stevenson, Threadgold and Painter all got 2. Ken.
Thanks, Scotty. Yes, a good performance by North Adelaide, putting 2 wins together. They'd be pleased about that. Well, let's talk about that game and welcome our guests to the program. Firstly, from the Double Blues, Jody Arnold. Welcome, Jody, to the program. Kim Klomp, still smiling. Welcome, Kimbo. And the elderly statesman, Gordon Swart, saw the game. Gordon.
Thanks, Ken. I've seen a bit of Sturt recently. For the good of the competition, I think that the hierarchy should consider amalgamating next season with one of the other clubs. Just at the moment, even though they beat South Adelaide, they're a disgrace to the competition.
A disgrace, Gordon?
Well, they are. The elementaries, Ken. Jody. The basics are just not there.
I think amalgamation's going a bit far at this stage, but...
they're an embarrassment, aren't they, to the competition at the moment?
I wouldn't go as far as say they're embarrassment. They're a very young side and they're
I realise that.
And, they've still got a lot to learn, but, calling them, saying they need to amalgamate is just going to...
Well, Jody, for the good of the competition, we need an 8-team competition. Right from the outset, they didn't man up. North were just allowed to run as they wanted to and kick 9 quick goals.
North got off to a good start, and I think they had a lot of run out of the back line. And, of course, Darryl Hart up forward finished off very well for them.
Took a while to hit his straps.
Yeah, he took a while. Radbone did well on him early.
He did.
And he got away from him in the finish. But, like I say, we're a very young side and we've got a lot to learn. And I think we're still in that process of overcoming that.
I know that they experimented, and I know they're missing you at centre-half forward, and that would make a lot of difference. But they were still very disappointing. Kim, it was most impressive by North Adelaide, but by the same token, I felt a lot of your players became cocky, even arrogant at times.
Oh, gee, you're in a good mood tonight,
No. Well, that's right. Well, and I'll name one of them. Saliba tried to do too much too often. He played well.
I thought Adam's hands today were the best he has had this year.
Agreed.
And I think our delivery of the ball was the best we've played this year. We were more than happy with our work rate. There were at times where we did slacken off the pace a little bit, Gordon, but I think to the credit of the guys, we just kept persevering.
Were you too cocky, as suggested by Gordon?
I don't think so. I thought our work rate was very good, and I thought we kept working. All right, we're just getting back to the school level. We haven't had the school level that we had last year, and we're just persevering. And as we can improve that week by week, if we improve a bit this week, next week against Norwoods, if we can improve a little bit more, that'd be great.
Kim, I suppose when you're 10 or 12 goals in front, you try to do too much.
It's a difficult thing. I think you try and be a little more flamboyant. You try and do the things that are, I suppose, crowd pleasing.
Yes.
But generally, I thought our work rate today was very good.
Well, Kim, congratulations, 2 in a row. That's well done to North Adelaide. And Jody, thanks for joining us. Certainly a very wild initiation of the program, but thanks for your time, Jody. Good luck. And you're a fired-up old bloke tonight, Gordon. Best players, quickly.
No offence,
you might punch me in a minute.
No offence, man. Field and Viney, the only 2 that I could find for Sturt. North Adelaide, I could have got the lot. Hart, 9 goals. Phillips, Barrett, their defence was superb, and Klomp.
Thank you, Gordon. You go and take a relaxing tab, and I'll phone to Scotty.
Geez, I hope for the wife's sake he brightens up for Mother's Day tomorrow. Tomorrow night, join us at 10:40 for the Spanish 500cc Motorcycle Grand Prix. Let's see if Mickey Doohan can do a Nigel Mansell and make it 4 from 4. And at 11:40 tomorrow night, you can catch the 1992 Winfield Rugby League Cup. It's Balmain versus Norths. We're back with more footy after this short break.
She's young.
Give it a go.
Intelligent.
Just blitz the pack.
Beautiful. She's Sale's hottest champion.
Oh, heck.
Brought to you by Maya.
It's going to be a biggie, there's no doubt about that.
7 o'clock Monday.
I can't be late.
On Channel 9.
The 1992 Antique and Collectors Fair is your chance to see Adelaide's biggest ever display of quality antiques under one roof. You'll be able to choose from over 60 exhibits of fine antiques at very affordable prices and view stunning private collections. There's free valuations, daily parades of antique clothing and jewellery, and many other family activities. Find out about antique collecting and investing at the 1992 Antique and Collectors Fair, supporting Telethon.
Australia's still working. It's the only way to be. Australia's still.
More and more Australians are still working because now all the performance and technology of the world's #1 chainsaws are available in a lightweight, more compact form for the handy person. But the only place you'll find a Stihl chainsaw is at an authorized Stihl service centre.
It's the only way to be. Australia's still.
How would you feel if your child was diagnosed with cancer? You'd want to make sure your child received the best care. You'd want to help prevent the disease in others. The Childhood Cancer Association provides funding for research and vital life-saving equipment. You can help fight cancer by buying a ticket in the Childhood Cancer Home and Land Lottery. Tickets for $2 are available from the ANZ Bank. Give the kids a hand.
Come and see or participate in the Australian Surf Riders Association State Surf Riding Title, to be held on the Flouria Peninsula Adelaide Cup Day long weekend, culminating in the finals day on the 23rd of May. Localities posted at Seaford and Middleton Point car parks.
Welcome back. Well, the Legs travelled down to Richmond today to do battle with the Bloods. Confident from last week's win. Didn't do them any good, though. West Adelaide 21-7, 133 defeated the Legs 16-7, 103. As we have a look at goal kickers now for West, Modra finished with 8, Fitzsimmons 4, Morris 3, Grosser 2, and for Norwood, Jones and Malloy 5. Aish, the old fella, as reliable as ever with 3, and Pittman with 2. Kenny.
Thanks, Scotty. Yes, a good performance by the Bloods today at home over Norwood, who have been playing pretty good football in recent weeks. Let's welcome our guest from that particular game, Robbie McKinnon from West Adelaide. Welcome, Robbie. And Chief Apendo from Norwood. Welcome, Chief. And David Mackay saw the game.
Thanks, Ken. And the 30-point margin at the end really didn't indicate how close the game was all day. It was a terrific game of football, tough and tight, and at the end, West Adelaide got away, but it was a real great advertisement for South Australian football. Chief, first one to you. Where were you today?
Yeah, I was out there.
That's not. You've both been taking acid pills out there.
No, I spoke to him off air earlier, Ken, and I said how well I thought he played a couple of weeks ago against Port Adelaide. He ripped blokes' heads off. He went in hard. And today I thought, Chief, you let me down a little bit because I like you as a player, by the way. Robbie, West Adelaide. I spoke with Neil Curley after the match, and he said that he thought today that it was persistence that really won you the game. He said he was proud of you for 4 quarters of hard running football.
Yeah, we've got a lot of sides don't like our pressure, but I think we played Norwood's game as well with the quick handball and we kept the pressure on. Like we had Simon Porter, who was just a fresh player back, and he sort of kept Chief quiet.
Yes, he did. In fairness, we should have said that it was really Simon Porter's job on you, Chief, that he played terrifically well. I was being a bit frivolous early. Robbie, I read an article earlier in the week that Leon Grosser said that he thought you were a better side this year than last year. Now, you made the grand final last year, and a lot of people had sort of questioned that comment, but do you think you have improved?
I think the King brings all that into a good side. The character comes out of the players, and he's just lifted the blokes tremendously.
Chief, I thought today, even though Jones kicked 5 and Malloy kicked 5 at full forward, I thought your forward zone really didn't function. You moved Pittman out of the ruck and into centre half forward, and you started to look a little bit better. They moved Richard Kelly from a half-forward flank back into the centre, and it nearly was a match-winning move, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we just let him run it out too easily out of the forward line.
Yeah.
Way too easy.
Do you perhaps think you're just a little inexperienced at the moment? You played very well against Port Adelaide a couple of weeks ago. you whipped the Eagles last week, 57 points, and today, or you didn't go down badly, but you went down fighting. Do you think you're perhaps just a little, you're paying the price of inexperience, too many young players?
Probably a little bit of height as well, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. How do you fix that? What have you got in the reserves?
Yeah, I don't know, really. There's a couple of players. Richie Hoare is a recruit from Melbourne who's playing well in the reserves at the moment, full forward. So there's a couple of players there.
Well, Chief, thanks for joining us. And, Robbie, congratulations on the Bloods. Great performance today, and let's hope that good form continues. And, David Mackay, your best 3 players.
I should also say I like the Redlegs. Don't write them off by any stretch.
No way.
Modra with 8 goals, I thought was one of their best. Ravisi, Carlson and Grosser, no particular order on those guys. Rowe, Aish, Pittman and Jones for the Redlegs.
Thanks, David, and congratulations to Grantley Filkey today, playing his 266th game for West Adelaide, a club record. Scotty.
Thank you, Ken. That was 4, by the way, too, David. Just watch that next week, will you? The Eagles took on Centrals today and got the money. A tight game at Footy Park. 16-16, 112. Centrals, 15-10, 100. As we have a look at the goal kickers, the Eagles, Morford with 4. Page, Schwarz and Neiman 2 apiece. The Centrals, Hocking and Chaplin 3. Smith, Arnold, Rudy 2 and Tongaree 2 apiece. Ken and Coach Campbell.
Thank you very much, Scotty. Yes, a good performance today by the Eagles. When I say good performance, getting home narrowly, and obviously the Bulldogs taking the game right up to the Eagles today. Let's welcome our guest in that particular game, Peter Schwarz and the Eagles. Welcome, Peter. And Big Rudy. Welcome, Rudy. And Graham Campbell saw the game.
Well, firstly, Clint, let me say I finally saw Central play a character game today. I've canned them here the last couple of times, haven't I, when I've seen them? And
you certainly can.
With good reason. But today was a top performance by the Bulldogs. I mean, not because they were 40 points down, but because, Rudy, you came back from 40 points down. You were going down the gurgler for the 3rd time, and somewhere you found something. What was it?
Just persevering, Graham. Like all week we've been drumming into, you know, the first effort and the second effort and third effort. And as on the footy show this morning, you know, the blokes were actually running the extra 20, 30 yards to help out their, you know, to help their teammates out. And you know, we were down by a fair bit, and to the boys' credit, they persevered and we got back. We ended up in front, but couldn't hold on.
Let's talk about that. 8 points in front, Pete. The alarm bells were ringing. Yet I thought a freak goal by Andrew Taylor turned the tide. Did you agree with that?
Yeah, he did it exactly when we needed it. Soccer off the ground that went through, and it just sort of settled us down and got us on an even keel again. And I think we went forward again from the centre bounce after.
Well, actually, the ball didn't cross, I don't think, the centre line after that, or the middle of the ground, back into the central forward line. Are you a selector?
Yeah.
I don't think Andrew Taylor will play backward of centre again, will he, after today? Would that be the deal?
Well,
he's a goal kicker.
He is a goal kicker, yes, and I mean, he was recruited as a forward player. I think with selection, I think it was just he started on the bench today, probably more for balance than anything else. And when he did come on, he went into centre half back.
Yep, initially.
But then was switched up to full forward
and turned the tide.
Yeah, did well.
Rudy, you made a comment a moment ago that the boys ran the extra 20 to 30 hours to tackle today, and you made reference to a radio program. So obviously you heard 5AA this morning when
a bit last night.
And a bit last night when I was very critical. I made the point, and I'll make it on television. It's about time the Bulldogs, and I talk about the players, stood up and be counted. Now, obviously today it was a better effort, but would you agree with those comments or not?
Oh, for sure. You know, Stewie mentioned that before the game, but, you know, he didn't really drum it into us. A few of us had heard it, and, you know, we didn't have much to say, but it's just some of the things you got to do. You know, the way they did it today, it was a credit to them, you know, being 40 points down and coming back, and it sort of helps the team and lifts the team.
And its supporters.
Yeah, and it gives you a bit of confidence too. So, you know, it was a shame that we couldn't hold on there, but I think we just turned the ball over quite a few times as well. You know, instead of moving it long and direct, we just fiddled around with it and, you know.
Rudy, a word of advice for Eddie Hocking. He's a mercurial player, and he can do marvellous things. You've got to get the ball and just kick it into the forward line. So if people like yourself needn't worry about the switching and turning it back into the play that he does so often, indulges in, causing you to stop your lead. Is that frustrating you?
Oh, for sure. You know, it's a lot easier one out on your opponent, and you know, there's a lot of space there. But you know, Eddie's he's sort of come back. He played fairly well today, and you know, you can't sort of criticise him. But that's one of our downfalls, I think. You know, not giving the ball in long and direct, and just playing around with it and just losing it.
Something good about Central. Shane Tongaree. Is Tongaree?
Yeah, it went very well today. Got to work
something.
on his disposal and that a bit, but you know, he's one of those dark chaps who's got a bit of skill,
Oh,
and you know,
he bounces around the place.
He's
Comment, Rudy.
Subtle,
He
Rudy.
can play a bit. And I might say this, Robert Pyman and Scott Stevens the first half, they had a two-man war. I think Pyman's a marvellous player, but Scott Stevens is really emerging also as a vital player with Sanfl.
They both played very, very well today.
They're both good kids, Ken. They're on the way.
Really?
Yep, I like Tongaree, but the kid in the Scott Stevens' second season, isn't it? So it's not a first season player.
Rudy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
It's his second season, yeah. He's
Well, Pete, congratulations. Nice to get the 2 points, and really a big improvement from the Bulldogs. And let's hope that now it's on a consistent basis and we can see some heart for your supporters out there. Rudy Mandamaker and Peter Swars, Graham Campbell, your best players.
Right, Ken. Robert Pyman, Andrew Pays, David Newman, and man on my left, Peter Swars, had one of his better days today. For the losers, Scott Stevens, as I mentioned, even though he probably lowered his colours at the end of the day, Rip McGowan in the centre again, Ken.
Good player. Thanks, Graham. That's Mr. 1 to 10, the future coach, of course. Now back to you, Scotty.
Hope Eddie Hocking took notice of that too. Round 8 in the AFL last night, Sydney did a demo job on the Brisbane Bears. North Melbourne today beat Essendon by 52 points. Fitzroy, big win over Richmond, 59 points, and Kilda took care of Melbourne to the tune of 60 points. And if you thought the Crows were ordinary last week, they took ordinary to great new heights this week when they went down by 123 points to Geelong, 32-18 to 12-15. Ken.
Thanks very much, Scotty. Yes, it's certainly a disappointing performance by the Crows today, and let's have a chat about that just briefly with David Mackay and Graham Campbell. 2 weeks in a row now, guys, they've gone down a mumbling mess, and it's not good.
Can I recall Graham Corn saying last year, you've got to have days where you get belted. But not belted like that. No, I don't think that's on. Not 20 goals following whatever it was last week. It was a marathon number of points last week also, and it's looking a bit sick, Ken. I know
we've made the comment every time we play against a side that has good big men, we always struggle.
Well, then what's the problem?
Well, we haven't got any good big men. I mean, Micken's back. He was underdone today.
Yeah, but David, we never got belted like this last year consistently.
Well, yes, we did. I remember going and watching
us consistently.
Oh, I got to tell you, I saw a game at St Kilda where we got whipped by 130
I'm saying
points.
2 in a row.
Yeah. That's probably Ken, we didn't play 2 suburban ground contests in a row either. The Crows have a suburban ground mentality in Melbourne where they can't handle going to these suburban grounds as distinct from the MCG or VFL Park.
Well, then how do you come to terms with that, Graham? It's all people to say they can't handle it, but how do you come to terms with it?
Well, I'm damned if I know, Ken. It's the mentality of the players on the day, of course, that they appear to get out there and just get lost in the intermingling between what the crowd is saying to them, obviously. They're going to put up with it and they come over here. Well, they don't handle it too well either.
Let's be fair about the whole thing. The West Coast Eagles weren't brilliant their first 2 seasons. They really did struggle. No, they weren't.
Their second season. My word, they did.
But they weren't early in the second season, if you recall. They started to string some games late in the season. We could well do that, let's be fair. But the travelling aspect was something that they really had to overcome. Once they did, they were fine. And I don't believe we've overcome that. I've said we're like a horse that really doesn't travel well. We never perform away from home. We always put up our best performances at home. And we always struggle against sides with good big men. Geelong have good big men. St Kilda have good big men. We will always struggle.
OK, we're getting off the Crows momentarily. Of course, on Tuesday night, South Australia takes on Western Australia. David Mackay.
Well, it's, what is it, in the last 2 seasons it's been a 1-1. We beat them the year before last. They whipped us by 44 points. There was that word again. So I think we've got a little bit to come back to. We're playing on our home turf. We know the availability of the Crows players. They still are sorting out their squad, which traditionally they've gone 50-50 with West Coast Eagles players and local Waffle League players. Now, there's some interesting players in the squad. Stephen Lally, the former Central District player.
Yes.
Now, he wouldn't even have gone close to our state squad.
Well, Graham, you're familiar with WA footy. You keep close sort of watch over WA footy.
Tab.
How do you see their squad?
I reckon they can't beat us, Ken. There's no way no one can beat us at home.
Okay,
No question. Can I say this also? Barry Cable said last year when they ripped us, as David said in Perth, that they are 5 years behind us. I think you'll find they'll be 5 years behind Adelaide, or our Adelaide football this Tuesday night. It's just a matter of who's playing at home. The home team always wins in interstate football. So I'm saying a comprehensive victory by 31-40. South Australia.
Can I put some money on that?
Would you call it a whipping, Graham?
Who's your name, Captain, Graham?
Gary McIntosh, I think he's walk-up start.
It's amazing, isn't it? We talk about Gary McIntosh. His forward's been outstanding. Wouldn't he be the sort of player that would help
Stir
the
him up.
Crows? Really help the Crows.
I think
Sorry,
he would,
the Crows, yeah.
but he doesn't want to play, and he's said, I don't want to play for the Crows. He's allegiance his life and Norwood. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, fellas, what about state football? There's been rumblings in Victoria that a lot of Victorian players don't really want to play state football. They've had enough. I think they play too many games of football. They've had a gutsful to put it in.
I think that's their problem. I've got to tell you, if I had a chance of playing state football, I'd walk over broken glass to play state football.
Jason Dunstall denies that. He's crook and wants to play for Queensland Tuesday night. So there's a Victorian player who wants to play state football.
I think he's in the minority now.
Well, all about Tony Lockett wants to play state football. Could have backed off. I think, generally speaking, most guys in Melbourne want to pull on the big V. It's something. It's earned. It's hard to not want to play for Victoria if you get half a chance.
Ken, if you don't mind me saying, I think club administrators are the people that don't want players playing.
That's right.
Club administrators.
Okay, okay, guys, thanks for that. And of course, that's coming your way. Don't forget, of course, on Tuesday night, exclusively here on at 9. Let's now have a look at the Premiership table as it stands after round 8. And there you see Port Adelaide and West Adelaide. Port Adelaide on top, West Adelaide, Norwood, South, and the Eagles in the top 5. The 4 winners today, Port, West, Eagles, and North Adelaide. Now, out of the 5 is Glenelg, and he was looking at the Tigers today. I just wonder where they can improve. They played at home, very good condition, big crowd.
Norwood next week.
And they've got Norwood next week, which will be a very good game. North Adelaide, I think, have put 2 together now, are going to be the side to beat, and the Bulldogs, and also there. Don't forget a reminder, at 10 p.m. on Tuesday night, a delayed telecast of the big one, South Australia versus Western Australia. And before we do go, it is Max Bashir's birthday today. So, Max, if you are viewing the program, have a happy day and a big night, and I'm sure you will.
And happy Mother's Day too, all the mums, Ken.
And of course, a happy Mother's Day to all the mums tomorrow. Hope you've enjoyed the program. Look forward to having you on company again next Saturday night, right here on the top sporting station, which is 9 at 4:30. Bye, everyone.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.
The 1992 SANFL football telecasts were brought to you by the South Australian Brewing Company, makers of West End Super, and Agostino Mitsubishi.
10:40 Sunday, the 500cc Spanish Grand Prix. Mick Doohan on a high roll and ride. 3 races, 3 wins. The pack's tucked in.
For our live coverage of the final term between North Adelaide and Norwood, I can tell you we just witnessed a marvellous third term by North Adelaide. They trailed by 23 points at half-time. They now lead by 12 points. The final quarter has just started. Your commentator is Ian Day.
The ball is forced out towards centre wing. Off goes Damien Mello. James in support as Mello gets the ball up towards the true centre wing spot, and it goes out of play. Norwood led by 11 points at quarter time. Extended that to 23 points at half-time. At one stage, they were 31 points down. Then the rains came and North Adelaide. They turned it round, a 35-point turnaround at the moment. At the start of this last quarter, they lead by 12 points. It's been unbelievable. Klump throws it out. Saunders gets it out up towards half-forward line. Saliba looks for running player. Gets it out wide now to Perkins. Can't find his footing. Down they go in a heap. And the umpire is going to ball it up or give a free kick to Norwood. Well, Norwood had 2 brilliant players in the first half in Gary McIntosh and Keith Thomas. Thomas had 14 kicks and 13 handballs at half-time. But Noonan has shut those 2 down pretty well and also got young Peter Turner into the action, and it's a different ball game. In goes Michael Bennett, busting his way out of defence now. It's McIntosh. Oh, intercepted brilliantly. Here's a chance. Marshall puts it on its way up towards full forward. Bowman Turner there, and off the fingers it goes through for the minor score.
And if Ian didn't already mention, it is very cold down here at the Prospect Oval. As Baum takes the kick, he kicks to the outer side. 11-8 plays 9-7. Out there looking for Thomas. Marshall. Well, he's been destroyed in the first half by Keith Thomas, but he's had some valuable touches in this early stages of the final term. But that mark's been taken by Robinson. Scott Robinson, number 26 for the Redlegs. This will be kick number 8. Puts it out wide. Setting himself there is Richard Kelly. Couldn't take the grab. It's picked up by Kim Kwambi. Kicks around his body. Turner has the sit. Front position there was Jonathan Ross. He couldn't take it. The ball hits the ground. And we'll have a ball up about 40 metres out. And a North Adelaide player is down behind the play, and it looks like Stephen Barrett. Umpires officiating are Tim Pfeiffer and Mark Westgarth. Westgarth throws up the ball. They've been doing that all day. The ball goes out towards Atkinson. He's been a busy player. That was a push in the back. The umpire was unsighted, to the displeasure of this pro-North Adelaide crowd here at Prospect Oval. The free kick was there, Daisy, but the umpire was in the wrong position.
As I said before, Kim, you can't guess him. He couldn't see it, so he didn't play it. And I can tell you the North Adelaide supporters were pretty quiet up to half-time, starting to get a bit of voice now. Incidentally, Michael Ace didn't resume after the end of the first quarter. He left the ground with his left boot off the foot, and he's still got it off, and he's in the bunker there with the coach. A throw up on the half-forward line. Hill in there, Ross over the top. Hill throws it out more than hope than anything. Noonan off towards the full-forward spot. Off the fingers, oh, Burton can't find it. Turner tries to get it across. He taps it out quickly in there. Turner and it's Burton. Row through, great tackle, Atkinson. Ran him down, Noonan gets it out. Saliba, point blank range, and a toe for all money.
Adam Saliba kicks his first goal of the game with his 11th kick, and the Roosters go further ahead in this remarkable turnaround. Have a look at the tackle by Atkinson. Rowe was too slow. Noonan did well. Body over the ball. Pirouetted out of trouble. Gave it to Saliba. He went bang and drilled it. And North Adelaide looking very strong 3 minutes into this final turn.
The turnaround has been unbelievable. Up until half-time, it looked as though North Adelaide didn't want to play. Their forwards were a mess. They were getting beaten out of the centre square. I don't know what Michael Noonan said at half-time, but he's changed the whole context of the game. They're getting the ball out of the centre and the runners are off. Here's a chance for Klopp. Gets the ball out to Perkins. Busts his way clear. Puts it out in front of the run of Hill. All he needs is a sit. Off goes Robin after him. He can't get him. Hooks around Zimmerman in defence. Gets the legs out of trouble as he chips out the pass to Robinson, half-back flank.
Robinson deep in defence, tries to curl it back around his body, looking for Jonathan Ross. He picked it up nicely, then gave the handball back to Jonathan Robrin. His kick's a wobbly one, but it finds Patterson. Patterson plays on. The handball goes out towards Dantokia. Klomp punches it forward. In there is Malloy. Looks like he's having a run on the ball, or he's playing across the half-forward line. Either way, he's been moved from full forward. Jones is there. He's only had 2 kicks and 1 handball for the whole game as Saunders gives it to Barrett. Barrett puts it up very high. It's also wide, and it's been punched out of play on the other side. Just getting back to Michael Lace, you mentioned before, Daisy, how he had to leave the ground at quarter time. At that stage, in the first term, he picked up 6 kicks and 7 handballs, and he was easily one of the best players on the ground. Saunders pushes the ball forward, then gets a wobbly kick. It goes straight to Thomas. Thomas, in turn, gets it away about 15 or 20 metres. It's picked up by Noonan. He goes back to Barrett. Barrett without the football. Tries to push it forward, picked up by Dantokia, out towards Patterson. Patterson goes forward, one-on-one battle. Pittman back there, tried to take it with one hand. Good body work by Bennett, who's been playing centre-half back all day. In there is Phillips. Jones off the ground. And eventually, Bradley Ryan just disguised that quite nicely as he deliberately took the ball over the line.
Scores from the other ground. Sturt 8-6 and down to the Eagles 11-10. That's a progress score at three-quarter time. Stephen Rowe in the pocket. Oh, he hasn't got the football. The umpire said play on. Klomp slips out a handball. Desperate work, Perkins. Noonan back to Perkins. Jammed it onto his boot. 3-on-1 back here. Jonathan Ross back there. Saliba read it well. Ross crashes his way through. He didn't get through. Cleverly out now to... not Marshall, that was Kelly. Thomas puts it in long up towards full forward. Pittman's looking for it. Over the top there is Redden. Rowe there on, puts the saddle on. Off the deck that goes. Back to Richard Kelly. 45 out off the side of his boot. They need a goal. They're not going to get it with that one. The umpire said play on. They're letting it all go. Mello. Back to Macca. Can't get through. The crowd yell holding the ball. Mello puts it onto his boot. What's he done? I think he's touched off the boot. Oh, that was a sensational try. Just touched in the nick of time.
Yes, great desperation by Bradley Ryan. The ball was definitely going to skid through for a goal, but Ryan managed to get a hand on it. Phillips takes the kick in. He puts it out towards Klomp, I think that is. He's covered in mud, Kim Klomp. That's pretty much par for the course. Klomp, he gets rid of Tanner, then in turn gives the ball to Barrett, who puts it towards the centre, and the mark's been taken by Perkins. Perkins plays on. They're going across ground. Out there having to stand his ground was Mancini. The ball was punched away, taken by Mello. Mello around his body. The ball goes out towards Dantokia. Has time to take it cleanly. Gets it back towards McIntosh. He gets rid of Saunders. Goes back over the top to Dantokia. He drives it in long looking for Jones. Or Bradley Ryan's done a sensational job on Jones today. He stitched him right up. Now the handball goes out to Barrett. Barrett in turn to Redden, who had a great third term. He puts it out wide, and Peter Bennett takes the mark.
Well, North Adelaide looking like winners at the moment, undecided where to go. Gives it away to Gerke, half-forward line, making hard work over it. Down there is Mancini. He's barreled and goes across the line for a throw-in on the half-forward left flank. Neil Craig, well, he probably thought at half-time that he's going easy. Although he'd know that it's always possible a comeback is on, but he couldn't have dreamed how he sidestepped to a walk trying to bust his way through is Gerke. Mancini goes down in a heap. In there is Robinson, did it well. Mello gets it out to the outer side. I think that's out of play on the full. That's the way it will go, and the free kick is taken on the outer side. It looks to be Klomp. Christ, he's got more mud on him than anything, than the cricket pitch. Barm, oh, well played. The umpire's blowing the whistle. He's taken the mark, and that's almost in the back pocket.
So Craig Barn deep in defence. Not sure which way to go. He's been in a lot of tight situations throughout his career, and this one's pretty tight at the moment. 80 plays 62. There's 18 points in it. The mark's been taken by Phillips. I just wonder now whether Norwood can kick the 3, 4, perhaps 5 goals they need to win this game. They have plenty of time. We've had 10 minutes of the final term, and Jonathan Ross takes the mark. Plays on quickly. Chips the ball around his body and finds Macca. Macca takes the mark. Looking for the 50. Also looking to play on quickly. He's on the left boot. He launches into that one. It's a screw punt. Saunders is there. North Adelaide seem to have all the answers at the moment. They're playing with a lot more composure. Yet in the first half, they were totally rattled, and that man there would be pretty pleased with the situation at the moment. It's taken by Robinson. I mentioned earlier he's a likely type. I think he's going to be a pretty good player with kick number 10. Out there looking for Pittman. He has to apply the defensive play. Then he grabs Phillips, and he is not happy about the decision, but Brendan Phillips will receive the free kick.
Well, at half-time, North Adelaide, in my book, only had about 2 good players. He was one of them in defence. The other was Tim Noonan. But since then, they've all lifted. 12-8 to 9-8. Phillips from the half-back flank, back up towards centre wing. Oh, big leap out there now by Mancini, but the ball is forced out of play. The rain that came down during that third quarter certainly appeared to suit North Adelaide. Suddenly, Norwood lost their dash. North had the runners, whereas Norwood had them in the first half. Had the throw in Ross against Simon Hill, who's come out to centre half forward and looked decidedly better there. Trying to bust his way through there was Perkins. It comes out from Phillips to Mancini. The running plant now is Saunders. Saliba underneath the football. He's got it, off they go. Burton short, he doesn't know which way to go. He puts it up now for Turner. Burton! Well, that was brilliant stuff. It was like a chessboard down there. They were leading at boarding, going this way and that away, and finally he got one and put it out in front of Craig Burton, who's booted 4 and could have had 6. Craig Burton from 30 metres out, and I'll tell you what, another goal here, it's going to make extremely difficult for the legs to get back into the game, but he's hooked that well offline. It's not an easy kick, 1 point only.
Let's take a look at some other scores. A progress score. The last quarter at the Adelaide Oval stood 9-6-60, well behind the Eagles 14-12-96. And here at the Prospect Oval, North Adelaide 12-9, leading Norwood 9-8. Barn with a big kick away. Mancini struggled a bit today, but he gets the handball over towards Perkins, who's been a better player in the second half, and there's a mark to Noonan. Well, they couldn't do a thing right in the first half. Now everything they touch is turning to gold. Timmy Noonan will kick from about 45 metres out. That's his 12th kick, and it's a pretty good one. No, it was just touched on the line. So they keep peppering the goals, North Adelaide, and I reckon they've got this one in the bag.
Final scores in the AFL. Hawthorn 18-12, too good for Melbourne 7-6. Geelong, another thrashing, 28-13 to Essendon 17-22. The West Coast have edged out Carlton 15-16 to 11-16. And, well, back here at Prospect Oval, it looks like North are going to get up over the top of North. Can they come back? They've only kicked 1 goal since half-time. Ross, Tanner, back onto his boot up towards McIntosh. Well done, keeping his eyes up. This Saunders is not a bad player. Puts it up for big Michael Redden. Perkins could be the running player if he wants him. In goes Gerke, but Michael's going to settle down and kick long. Undecided where to go. Finally goes on the left leg. It's an awkward-looking kick. Turner's in the middle of all that, but that's a top mark, Jonathan Ross. He elects to play on, runs himself into a pocket somewhat, and only puts it back as far as Saunders.
Well, Saunders is another one of those players that played for South Australia on Tuesday night, but it doesn't seem to have harmed him at all. He's going stronger as the game progresses, as the mark is taken by Mancini. Tucked away in the right forward pocket, southern end of Prospect Oval. 12-10-82, plays 9-8-62, a 20-point advantage to the Roosters. Mancini with kick number 6. From about 35 metres out, he gives it a ride. The crowd like it, and so too the umpire.
For $21,900 at Agostino Mitsubishi, you'll get lots of extras for no extra on Magna GLX.
4-speed automatic transmission,
Central locking,
a Sentinel anti-theft system,
side striping,
and all the on-road costs.
$21,900 for Magna GLX.
Plus, lots of extras.
For no extra cost.
And at Agostino, I promise you'll always get a fair deal.
If not, I'll shave your mow off.
Strike me, Ping.
North Adelaide 13-10, Norwood 9-8. And as Ian mentioned, they've only kicked one goal since half-time, and this has been an amazing performance by North Adelaide. They were out of this for all money at half-time. McIntosh has gone quiet in the second half. Richard Kelly gets the kick away, but it goes back to Rod Saunders. And Saunders just lopes into attack once more. He puts the ball out wide, and the mark taken by Mancini, the man that kicked the last goal for the Roosters. Burton moves out, but the pass goes short and finds Simon Hill. Picked up a few touches late in the second term, but he's been a fairly quiet player. Kick number 8. It's a short pass, looking for Burton. Back there is Zimmerman, and the ball is forced out of play on the full. So Burton gets the free kick, and Zimmerman can't believe it. I reckon it might have come off his knee. Umpire Mark Westgarth just telling Burton where he has to kick from. He's kicked 4 goals, 2 in the first term, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. And he will try a reverse punt. Gives it plenty of room. It's curling back. It did not come back far enough. So North Adelaide move along to 13-11, 89. Nord on 9-8. And, gee, who would have picked that at half-time?
Yes, Kim, just furthering that capitulation by Nord. They haven't kicked a goal since the 6-minute mark of the third quarter. So they've got a quarter and about 10 minutes since they've got their last goal. And had you seen their first half, you would not have believed it possible. But it is. They've done it. 13-11 plays 9-8. 16 minutes into the final quarter. At the throw-in. Hill in front. Roth over the top. Klomp, who's lifted his game enormously in this second half, gets in for the football. But, of course, for Kim Klomp, the skipper of North Adelaide, these are his conditions. Blood streaming down from his left eye as we got underway in the second half. Kim Klomp wouldn't worry about that sort of inconvenience. You can still see it streaming down there. Ross gets the tap away again. Quickly in there is Jonathan Robran. Tried to get it out, but he only gave it away to Perkins. Loose ball. One-on-one up towards Burton. In there is Zimmerman. Zimmerman does it well. Should get out of this. Oh, lost the football. Gave it back to James, and Norwood will get out through Baum on the outer side.
Craig Baum with the football at the 15-minute mark, in fact 16-minute mark of this final term here at Prospect. Nice looking kick. The Redlegs have what breezes here at the moment as Phillips emerges with the football. He goes back towards Redden. He gets a hurried kick away, and the mark's been taken by Brett James. And I would imagine Neil Craig would be devastated at the moment. They played a brilliant brand of football in the first half, but boy, gee, they've fallen to pieces in this second half. McIntosh, a sweeping handle out to Thomas, who was the best man on the ground in the first half. There's a high tackle to Tanner. Play on advantage. Now it's Patterson with the football. He lines up the goals, but the accuracy has abandoned Norwood at this stage, and they kick their second point for the second half, and they move along to 9 goals, 9.
Well, Norwood can't afford to miss those. In short, taken by Peter Bennett. He'll go back now to full back to Saunders over the top. Now a chance for Perkins to clear. Well, Bradley Ryan was up towards centre wing. Well done, Mark Marshall. North into attack up towards Simon Hill. Slip back from Robin. He's got it. There's 2 up in the square. Simon Hill gets the lead from Burton. Off goes Turner, but he's going to go for home with a long one. Getting back on it now at the back of the pack. Big leap up there by Mancini. In goes Robinson, but he can't get to the football, and it goes out of play in the full forward left pocket. The move that sparked North Adelaide. Turner went into the centre square when Peter Krieg went off. Didn't return after quarter time. McIntosh has been a dominating force, but then he went to full forward. Turner's given them something to shoot at. He's booted a couple, and he certainly made them a different different side up in the forward division.
As we take another progress score from the Adelaide Oval, the Eagles leading 15-13. Sturgis fighting back though on 11-7, so it's 30-point margin at the Adelaide Oval, but the Eagles should have that one in the bag. Zimmerman on the bottom of the pack. Yeah, Peter Turner's kicked 3 goals, Daisy, and that move certainly has worked. And him and Burton are certainly creating a little bit of panic out there for the North defence as Burton bangs through his 5th goal.
The Decorator Warehouse Melbourne Street lease has been temporarily extended on a monthly basis. All surplus display and warehouse stock will be heavily marked down until we move. Some leather largest will be sold regardless of cost. If that's not good enough, haggle with a salesperson or even sharpen his pencil for him. Our temporary lease is monthly only. All surplus leather largest will be sold before we move. Decorator Warehouse under the Vines, Melbourne Street, North Adelaide, and 144 Unley Road, Unley. Open 7 days.
Well, Craig Burton has kicked 5 goals, 4. North Adelaide move along to 14-11. Norwood 9-9. And, well, the reason that Norwood was so strong in the first half, they just dominated the centre square, but there's been a complete turnaround in this second half, and it's now North Adelaide that are taking the ball out of the square with consummate ease. And this man, number 14, who was a star in the first half, has had no real impact in the second half. Perhaps getting a little bit tired, Macca. He played a sensational game against WA, and he captained South Australia on Tuesday night. He looks a tired boy, and I would say he's a pretty disappointed one as well. Throw up once more. Ross wins the tap. It goes down to Mello. He started on the interchange bench, but he's played the last 3 quarters. The ball goes back to Phillips. Perhaps the best game that he's played for North Adelaide since coming back from the Bears, and he wins another free kick. Kick number 19 for Brendan Phillips. He puts it out wide and finds Stevie Barrett, a former Eagle. Very talented junior player. Just took a while to find his niche in league football. He's always been a great kick, and he found the chest of Tim Perkins. Perkins playing on the ball, puts it out wide. They're just playing possession football now, and Mark Marshall has it. Now the handball over towards Bradley Ryan. He's done a great job today in defence. The ball hits the ground, taken by Saliba. Well done, Matthew Kelly, but it's picked up by Noonan. They have numbers at the fall of the ball. Mancini getting into the action in this last term. That's a beautiful kick down to Saunders, into an open goal, and he splits the centre for his first.
Your children have grown up. Your house is a chore. The garden's just too much. Move up to Golden Grove and move into a brand new, low-maintenance courtyard or villa home that gives you more time to get more out of life. It's a lifestyle you love, and you'll have the privacy and independence of your own Torrens titled detached home. Come and see our courtyard and villa allotments. Don't put it off. Move up to Golden Grove.
Back in the centre field, North Adelaide 15-11, Norwood 9-9. So the Roosters have turned what could have been a disaster into a decisive victory here at Prospect Oval, and they're going forward again through Mark Marshall. He puts forward a wobbly one. Peter Turner managed to fist the ball away, or perhaps it was Craig Barn. Nevertheless, it is another point to the Roosters, and they move along to 15-12.
Kim, I just can't see how Norwood have stopped to a walk, or so it seems. McIntosh has got Barrett on him at the moment. Sure, they lost Michael Aish, but they lost him at quarter time. They just can't take a trick. North Adelaide are just swamping them. Patterson comes out of defence high towards the half-forward line. Peter Bennett can't get his hand to it. Well done there once again by Brenton Phillips on the half-back line. It's Dan Tocky who puts it up in hope rather than anything. And Brendan Phillips, that man again. Oh, shepherding. Shepherding against North Adelaide. It will go to Grant Tanner, and he'll kick the legs into attack from centre wing. We've played 23 minutes. I don't think they can get out of it from here. Certainly not with a kick like that. Kim Klomp. Have a look at it. Looks like a refugee from a swamp. On the half-back line, tough as they come. Slowing play down. Time is on North Adelaide's side as he edges the ball back towards centre wing. In there's Hill. Off the fingers, Dan Tokia. Tries to give off, crashes through. Tanner Now it's Patterson. The legs go forward, 2-on-1. Pittman in the middle of it. Over the top came McCarthy. Thumped it to the outer side. Mello, he booted a couple. Hooked around the corner, but he's not going to hook it far enough. Malloy. Oh, that's a brilliant dash to the football, and he's got it hard up against the line. Looking to come back in field to straighten it up, but he can't find anyone. He's going to chip away at goal. Gee, that's not a bad attempt. 10th kick, and he has booted his third goal. And Norwood belatedly fight back.
Gee, hasn't that taken a long time? They kicked 1 goal in the third term, and that's their first goal for the final quarter. So they've only kicked 2 goals in the second half. Malloy looked very threatening and dangerous during the first half of the game, but he's been starved of opportunities since then. He thought about a short pass, was called to play on. That took the pressure off because he had to kick, and he put it through for his third. But all too late for Norwood. 15-12 North Adelaide, Norwood 10-9.
Umpire Westgarth has to ball it up at the centre bounce. Redden got it back again from Saliba, cleverly off the turf. Getting back on it is Robinson, who played brilliantly in that first half, but like a lot of his counterparts, hasn't had a big second half. 15-12 to 10-9. Adam Saliba always gets in there and gives those little handballs away that sets his team in motion. Redden has lifted his game too. Mancini has been a fine player in the second half. The ball comes back towards centre wing. In goes Brodie Atkinson with him on the bottom of the turf. Is Richard Kelly, but once more the umpire will have to ball it up. Police prosecutor Tim Pfeiffer will ball it up at centre wing on the outer side. Have done a good job, the umpires. Conditions have been trying, especially since half-time. Jonathan Robran back towards the centre half forward spot, but it's Michael Redden, gives it away again to Phillips. Out wide now, Perkins will go to the half forward line. Well done to Brodie Atkinson. North are playing confident football at the moment.
Oh, no question of that, Daisy. They're looking very good. As the short pass goes in now, and the mark's been taken by Mark Marshall. So he's had a big second half. He was destroyed by Thomas in the first half. He puts it in towards the head of the square. Players set themselves. Big leap there by Burton, but the grab's been taken by Jonathan Ross. He's tried hard, but they just haven't been able to control the football. Kick number 9, and it's not an accurate one, and Marshall picks up another kick, courtesy of another mark. So we often say he's got a kick like a mule, one of the longest kicks in the game, and the breeze really has dropped here at the Prospect Oval. So he'll kick from about 50 metres out. This will be his 18th kick. He's had a big second half. Distance won't be a problem. What's the accuracy like? Not quite there according to the umpire. But at the end of the day, it won't matter, Daisy, because they are too far in front and we've hit time on in this final term.
Stephen Rowe. Well, I know it's been said before, you could almost swear the teams have changed Guernseys. Matthew Kelly got a hiding in the first half when Burton was too good for him. Picked his game up. Barrett almost got it back from Ryan. Oh, he's going to hang on to that too long. That's holding the ball. Correct decision. He over-finessed there and lost the football. Mark Jones had a quiet one. Malloy on the lead. Oh, umpire said play on as it's chipped out by Saunders out to the outer side. Good mark to Keith Thomas. Despite playing a magnificent game at centre wing, even his performance is not going to get the legs up. It's his 20th kick. Rowe lost it. Atkinson through. Patterson looks for it. In comes McIntosh. Hooks the ball high in towards Malloy. Getting back on it there is McCarthy. He could concede a point here. No, the ball will go out of play in the full forward right pocket. 15-13 to 10-9 as we're 2 minutes into time on. And North Adelaide are going to go on and register their third win in succession after 5 horrendous losses to start the season.
And there's the final score from the Adelaide Oval. The Eagles kicked away again, 17-13, 115 over the Double Blues. Their woes continue, 11-7-73. As the Roosters go forward again through Brodie Atkinson. But out there taking another mark is Jonathan Ross. Tried pretty hard today, centres the ball nicely, looking for Thomas, and he receives a free kick. Perhaps Norwood's best player still. They just haven't had any good players in the second half. The ball goes out wide, punched away by McCarthy. In there is Atkinson again. He's had a pretty good game. Back to McCarthy, back to Phillips. In turn to Perkins, who's had a tremendous second half. Drives it long. There's a big lead there by Robinson. There was no one on the ground. The crumbs are picked up by Mancini. He puts out a swooping handball out to Hill. He goes back to Noonan. He's got one to beat in Robinson. He did it pretty easily, and he's kicked 3 goals for himself.
G'day! At the Brickworks there's pony rides, mini golf, crazy castle, laughing clowns, video games. There's a stack of fun at the Brickworks. Can-am carts, bumper boats. Thanks.
Install a ream for the hoist of hot water you've ever seen. Ream comes on.
Steady, hot and strong.
When your old heaters had the gong. Install a ream, install a ream, install a ream.
The siren has sounded here at Prospect. North Adelaide have run out. Unbelievable winners, 16-13 to 10-9. And that's the greatest comeback since Kungadin. Kim, I can't believe that. Norwood, who had all the run in the first half, they looked unbelievably motivated through their half-forward line. Didn't have a winner in attack, lost their runners, in fact, lost everything.
Yeah, no, you're spot on there, Daisy. And Michael Redden made a terrible mistake early in the third term. And fortunately for Michael, Norwood never capitalised. They kicked a point. But after that, he lifted his rating and he played an extremely good game. And Redden started to take marks. He started to get his hand on the ball first in the centre square. And it absolutely bucketed down in the third term. But North Adelaide just kept taking the ball out of the centre square. And they kicked 7 goals in the third term when you could hardly see the players due to the ferocity of the rain. Yet they defied all logic in football and handled the ball brilliantly. And as I mentioned, they kicked 7 goals, 2 in that third term to set up this victory. And they just went on with the job. And that man will be feeling pretty despondent at the moment.
He looks a little bit disconsolate, and well, he might be, because Norwood played superb football in that second half, or in that first half, and I don't think Neil would even know just why they just went backwards like that. Sure, they lost Michael Aish, but I said that was at the end of the first quarter. North Adelaide lost Peter Krieg. Whether he's got hamstring problems or whether he was just dragged is irrespective. The fact was that Norwood never looked like going to win that game in the second half, and in the end, North Adelaide ran out brilliant winners.
So there we have it, the final score. The Roosters 16-13, 109, victorious over Norwood, 10 goals, 9, 69. So that is a 40-point victory to the Roosters, and I'm pretty happy because I tipped them, KG.
Oh, you're a good judge, Kimbo. That was a fantastic performance by North Adelaide. Looked down and out at half-time, as the boys have told you, but 1 or 2 changes by Michael Noonan, and then sailing that third quarter, North Adelaide exploded. They really did. We'll be talking to Mark Ducker and Simon Trenorden about that game a little later on the program. We'll also be talking to Jamie Stevenson and Stephen Guy about the game from the Adelaide Oval, and of course showing you highlights from that great game where the Eagles were too good for the Double Blues. And we'll also have a chat to John Klug from the Crows, and they've got a very important engagement at 5 o'clock tomorrow night at Football Park when they take on Collingwood. Collingwood, the red-hot favourites, but I've got a sneaking suspicion the Crows will get home. So we'll have a chat to Johnny Klug about their chances, about the big game tomorrow at Football Park. And we'll also look at the game on Monday, and that should be a beauty between West Adelaide and Glenelg. West Adelaide playing great football at the moment, but again, I've got a feeling, a slight feeling that the Tigers may in fact get up. But let's recap the final score of the game today, played at the Adelaide Oval, and there you see it. The Eagles in trouble early, but came back 17-13, 115, and plenty of happy Eagle supporters here at the moment, defeating Sturt 11 goals, 7-73. We'll have highlights from that game a little later. We'll take a break and come back with more footy right here on 9. Stay with us, folks. For $21,900 at Agostino Mitsubishi, she'll get lots of extras for no extra. Welcome back, and there you see the final score in the game at the Prospect Oval today, where North Adelaide looked down and out at half-time, gone for all money. North Adelaide 16-13 defeated Norwood, 10 goals, 9, a margin of 40 points there, and certainly a fantastic performance there. Let's now take you to Ian Day at the Prospect Oval.
It's KG. Michael Noonan, I can't believe that. That's the greatest fight back since Lazarus.
That was a good effort, and probably significant. It was the, just the extra competitiveness that we had in the second half, especially.
But that first half was horrible.
Well, we had control, and then a guy called McIntosh took control of the game totally, and I think he encouraged a lot of his teammates to join in. But once we subdued all that and got back to our normal movement, I thought we took control of the whole game for quite some period of time.
The move of bringing Peter Turner on, he went to centre for temporarily, then down to full forward where he kicked 3.
Yeah, well, he's been taking a few steps at a time to try and get himself back into some form, and I thought, well, I'll put him in the centre just to show him that I've got the confidence in him. And then once we did that, we put him down to full forward, and he was taking the ball and finishing the play off, which was good for us.
Well, Craig Burton also did an excellent job for you down there in that forward pocket.
Yeah, well, Craig's played very well all year while we've had him, and he's such a good finisher, although he didn't do as well today, but he's always very dangerous. I thought the other thing about the game was not just Tim Perkins, but also our little blokes. They are starting to use the ball very well.
Proud father's almost got a smile. He played a top game.
I think you look at Klomp and Atkinson, and you're starting to see, and Saliba as well, second half, you're starting to see the value of some of the little blokes. As soon as it started to rain, I thought they really started to control the ball.
Do you think the rain changed the course of the game, or do you think it was going to change in any case? I suppose it's hard to tell, isn't it?
Well, we'll never know, but the scoreboard says we won.
Michael, you've won 3 on the trot now. What's changed at North Adelaide?
Well, I think we're a lot more stable. We've tried to provide a much more stable down the centre line, and I think the work rate's definitely increased enormously.
Michael, well done.
Thank you.
Ian Day there talking to Michael Noonan, and he certainly is a marvellous coach, Michael Noonan. 1 or 2 moves today were absolutely outstanding, and we'll talk to Kim Dillon about that in 1 moment's time. But what about the goal scores, of course, in that particular game today? And we see North Adelaide with Burton kicking 5, a great game in the pocket today. Turner kicked 3 and Atkinson 2, and for Norwood, Malloy 3, 2 each to Mello and Pindo. But a great performance there by North Adelaide. If we go back live to the Prospect Oval and to welcome Kim Dillon. Kim, the comments by Michael Noonan, he said his smaller men, particularly in that second half, got North Adelaide back into the game. Would you agree with that?
Oh, no question of that, Ken. The important thing is they did something they couldn't do in the first half, and that was take the ball out of the centre square. And I thought Michael Redden had a little bit to do with that, Ken. You saw the game, and Redden started to jump over the top of the likes of Pittman and Jonathan Ross, and he gave those smaller players the first opportunity to use the ball.
And Kimbo, what about the move of Perkins into the middle? I thought that McIntosh, as Michael Noonan said, controlled the game. Him and Ace, until Ace went off the ground, controlled the game, but I thought Perkins had a strong influence in the second half.
Yes, he certainly did, and Macca, I wondered whether he'd be able to run out the game after such a tough affair on Tuesday night when he led South Australia against WA, and he did tire. Whether that was through the influence of Perkins or not, I'm not sure, but Perkins did find the football and Macca went quiet, and it was a good move. But I must admit, Ken, I sat there throughout the first half and kept saying, why leave Perkins at centre-half forward when he couldn't find the football, when he had Bennett at centre-half back. But Noonan didn't make that move, and they still won the game, so I suppose he was right.
Yeah, he certainly was, Kimbo. Kimbo, the loss of Michael Ace, as I said, I thought him and Gary McIntosh in the first half was virtually their ball game. But the loss of Michael Ace really hurt Norwood today.
It did, but they were still in control of the game at half-time, and Ace left the game at quarter-time. It had 13 possessions up to that first quarter and was clearly the best player, but they still controlled the game at half-time, so they played an extra quarter without Michael Ace, and it didn't really have any effect on them. They still looked the better side, and it looked by how much at half-time, but boy, gee, that rain came down, which normally, Ken, makes it harder to kick goals, but North Adelaide went out and kicked something like 7-2. Yeah, it was a magnificent third quarter. Kimbo, I just worry a bit about Norwood. I've seen them over the last 3 or 4 weeks. They've been in a position in each of those games to win it, but they really haven't played or been able to play 4 quarters of footy, and I can't find the reason why. Well, if you're worried, Ken, imagine how Neil Craig feels. We saw him walk off the ground and he just looked shell-shocked. And it is a worry to control a game like that. And admittedly, McIntosh was taken out of the game. And if that means that their whole game, their team plan rotates around one player, maybe they have got big problems. But what about North Adelaide? They lost their first 5, now won their last 3. Are North Adelaide, in your opinion, back in business? No question of that, Kenneth. They look very, very sharp. And as I mentioned, I tipped them. I needed it to win because I've got to catch up to Rob Kelvin on the work tipping competition. I don't know about catching up to Rob Kelvin, Kimbo, but you won't get anywhere near me, old son. Thanks to Kim Dillon there, live at the Prospect Oval. We'll go back there again a little later in the program. But first of all, what happened in Melbourne today, and certainly 1 or 2 big results. Last night, of course, at the MCG, Fitzroy defeated North Melbourne. Hawthorn belted Melbourne, and John Northey's future as coach of Melbourne must be well and truly on the line. Geelong, look at that. Are they playing good football or what? 28 goals to 17. They killed the Bombers.
and the West Coast Eagles at Princes Park defeated Carlton, and the West Coast Eagles are back in business. And of course the Crows play them on Friday week, a night game at the Wacker Ground. Tomorrow we've got Adelaide playing Collingwood at Football Park, Richmond taking on Sydney, and Brisbane versus Footscray. So certainly some big games coming up in the AFL scene. More football shortly, but here's Scotty McBain.
Hey Ken, I was just thinking, with John Northey's job on the line, maybe we could send Graham Campbell over there.
He'd love it.
Here's all the details on the Junior Supporters Club at the Alberton and Richmond Ovals next week. Junior supporters will have the chance to win a Port and West sport bag and towel. An autograph footy's up for grabs at Richmond, while at Alberton a pair of Adidas footy boots is also available. Now our next swap cards competition has started. The question this time round, in what position does Stephen Williams usually play? All you have to do to enter is write the answer on the back of an envelope posted to the swap cards competition. Post Office Box 1, Westlakes 5021. The winner will be drawn on Tuesday the 19th of May, and they'll receive a $20 gift voucher courtesy of Rowan Jarman. Our Channel 9 SANFL Junior Supporter of the Week is a fellow Hills dweller. Brendan Murphy from Aldgate. He's 12 years old, supports the Legs. Wouldn't be too happy today. Plays, or at least goes to school at Heathfield Primary School. Brendan picks up a footy super pass to a game at Footy Park, a Hungry Jack's family meal voucher, and a Kookaburra footy. And the league will mail out the vouchers to you, Brendan. Jeez, I'm going well here. Okay, now have a look at this. This was Tuesday night at Footy Park, the state game, and out the front there is young David Charlton from Fulham Gardens. He's 9 years old, and he was the mascot for a day. He goes to Fulham North Primary, brings back... I was a mascot, Ken, 1963 through to 1968 when I retired. David and his family received free passes to the state match and dinner in Footy Park dining room, plus reserved seating. He got his state outfit, had his photo taken with Macca, got a footy, got the lot. Good on him.
He's a happy man. Thank you, Scotty. Let's recap what happened at the Adelaide Oval today with the Eagles. Too good for Sturt. The Eagles 17 goals 13, defeated Sturt 11 goals 773, and the main goal kickers from that particular game from the Eagles. Nickel at centre half forward 6-2 to Swars and Morfitt, and for the Double Blues Stevenson booted 5 and Arnold 2, as we take you to highlights from that game.
Taylor was pushed, or so he indicated the umpire, but play on was the call. The Double Blues go forward from Viney. Oh, Neiman, the big fly, couldn't quite complete the mark. Finally over the top of the ball. Neiman again fights for it. Stevenson well down from his forward post. Now this is Stevenzilla. He gets it out the lead. He's caught. Play on is the call. Crashing his way through, doing that well was Josh May. Finally the ball ricochets out to appear to be Russell. Now play on. The Double Blues back to May is good play, and the short pass to Stevenson. And Stevenson will be 40 metres out. The angle will be slight. 6.5 minutes played, and the Double Blues are yet to score. So Stevenson, who kicked 75 goals from full forward for the Double Blues last year, but really hasn't shown anything like that form this season. 40 out, 45 as he perhaps kicks, and the distance is not the problem, and neither is the accuracy. It's the Double Blues first. They go to 1 goal, and the Eagles are 1 point. Well, conceding ground, but they're trying to set up some run. It's obvious their game plan today. As from defence, Threadgold, 21 only a couple of weeks ago, holding down Morfitt. Now Fuller goes for the open goal. It's the unprotected goal. Can Nickel drop back? He does. And Stuart Nickel marks right on the point of the 10-yard square. So Nickel, an opportunity for his first and the Eagles' first, makes no mistake from 10 metres out.
Redbone from half-back, good take. Jay Viney plays on quickly, gets it to half-forward. It was Underwood, underneath it is Stevenson again. Well, he's on top of Spear.
He's too strong for Spear, Rocky.
Body to body, he is. Palm will be looking pretty closely at that. He has two. He'll kick from 50. He'll test his distance. No breeze. Let's have a look at him. Number 32. That looks all right. He'd be very pleased with that. He's got his third, and he is a dangerous player for the Eagles.
Crashing his way through was Mead. He's taken the ground without the ball. Play on as Johns threw out the handball. Stolen cleverly on that occasion by Tobias. He goes towards full forward. Morfitt was held. Play on the call. Clem crashed through. Couldn't complete the take. Oh, Radbone copped one high as well, but it's play on. The umpires are letting anything go in this match. And finally, a trip, and it's an Eagle free kick. Well, there were 3 or 4 before that one, but finally the trip was the one that was plucked out. And Peter Schwartz from 15 metres out, directly in front, an opportunity to kick the Eagles second. Well, they're always difficult, those frees. they can hurt an opposition so much. Radbone clearly copped one high. The umpire missed that. And the trip to Schwarz was paid 15 metres out, directly in front. And the Eagles captain pops it through for his first, the Eagles second. They go to 2 goals to Sturt, 3 straight goals.
Over half forward, a race in 2. Mead first to it. Oh, he overlooks it. Dixon goes through. Mead redeems himself. Caught. Balance. Up. Now spear. 2 minds. Didn't know what to do. Pushed it on his wrong leg towards Pyman. It's beautifully put. Some skill here. Pyman can play. Pushes it over half forward. Taylor against the target. 2 grabs. Can't take it. Good defensive work. Packer. Balance. You won't see much better than that. Have a look at that for a pass. He switched the play in doing just that to Richter, and Fields on the end of it. They've got some momentum now, the Blues. Good pressure from Jason Ziller. Oh, but take just a magnificent man. Stevenson just won. The kick in, not so good, but kicked the opportunity. I was a bit early saying not so good. He just put it up high to Kiski to run under, David.
I think the difference, Neville, is that the Double Blues are running the ball now into their forward zone much quicker. And it's allowing their big men to get open and have a run at the ball.
Yeah, I think you've summed it up pretty well. One out, Kitski and Stevenson, pretty hard to beat. In the ruck is Schaefer at the moment, so Kitski at half forward. He lets fly with one. Oh, the Blues doing it pretty well here at Adelaide Oval. Kitski's first, and the Blues kick their fourth.
So Sturt, 4 goals, 1, 25. Lead the Eagles 3 goals to 20. The margin 5 points.
We're into time on here at Football Park, Adelaide Oval. Oh, not even close, was it really?
Force of habit, Rocky. You've been there so often.
First quarter. The Blues in control at the moment of the footy, although the scoreboard's still pretty close. Schwartz, quick hands, good work to Clem. Has a look, lifts the eyes and finds on the other half-court flank. That's Tottenham. Jay Viney puts good pressure on, doesn't give 50, so good defensive work by the strong man. Back with the Blues this year. Tottenham puts it in high, Nickel goes from behind, it's Nickel. Judged it better than anybody, all under the ball, Arnold included. Chips off, Tobias in space. Well, he made that look easy. Tobias is only about 25 metres from goal. Oh, I don't believe that. Well, David, that rule was introduced for all the reasons that it never is used for, time wasting particularly. That was played up by Tobias with nothing in it. He's a very talented player. He'd probably kick that goal anyway, but I'll never come to terms with the 50-metre penalty.
Ziller into space, Tape, handballs to himself, forward now, dives desperately on top of the ball. Scott Field, cleverly done out to Dixon. Dixon in turn has Viney, and Viney goes with a long ball towards half forward, but good courage out there, and that is taken by Stephen Ziller. 50-metre penalty, well, there's your rule, Rocky. How did you see that one?
Yeah, I think they're a little bit frivolous. That's the only comment I can really make about them, David.
Michael Abbott, one of the most experienced umpires in the SANFL. And another 50-metre penalty. Johns with the offender now. Mick Abbott said that he didn't call play on. Johns ran across the mark anticipating that Ziller was going to play on. And another 50-metre penalty. Well, this now gives us 2 50-metre penalties in a row, and Ziller will kick for goal from 15 metres out.
The Eagles have had one a little bit earlier, which amounted to a goal to Tobias. Same thing here for Ziller. So the 50-metre penalty having a bit of an influence on this game in the last 5 minutes.
The youngster from Loberthorpe, 15 metres out, an opportunity of extending the Eagles' lead, and he does exactly that still, even though he kicked the point. Jay Viney with strength dispatches a handball to Gass. Now Gass goes short across the top, and this is Kim Russell, unattended, grandstand wing, lifts the eyes, the short pass to Johns at half forward. Johns is 20 metres clear, plays on quickly, the target Arnold. Jody Arnold at full court, he's marked! Well, the big man gave them something to kick at, and he hasn't let them down. The Double Blues are playing some of their best football for this season. And Jody Arnold, the St Kilda recruit, who's missed so much football this season with injury, 15 metres out, directly in front, with the opportunity to put the Double Blues ahead. They trail by 2 points, 5.5 minutes played, second term. Recruited as a defender, now playing full forward, a natural left footer, has his first, and the Double Blues are 4 points up.
Opportunity now for Dixon. Forward they go, that time think that was Russell who pushed it forward on that occasion. Far side of the ground. Judd under a lot of pressure. Schaefer goes backwards. Oh, under all sorts of pressure, the Blues. And that's out of bounds on the full against the Blues. So Rob Pyman now for the Eagles. He'll push the ball in over centre wing. Ball to ground, beautifully done by Packer, but the crumb is to Bias. Around the corner, Radbone underneath it. Zilla with him. It's Jason. Beautifully done to Fuller. The Eagles into the open goal. His first.
And the Eagles, 5 goals, 5-35. Sneak 3 points clear of the double Blues. 5 goals to 32.
Good conditions for football. Schaefer, it was Negri again. Got his hand to the ball well, but Schaefer gets the crumb. Threw it out, but it's a free kick. The Eagles' way, they'll go into attack this time through Swars. Had plenty of touches in this second quarter. Well and truly on top there. As he puts it over half forward, Taylor was his target, but like the other end of the ground, not quite to the player. With strength, Clem Pyman, he's clever, chips it around the corner. They want more from Nickel. Oh, they found Nickel. Packer lost Nickel on that occasion. First time this quarter it's happened to him. And yet I thought he had him absolutely covered. Chip around the corner was good from Pyman. Nickel has one. He got that in the first quarter. Great start, held by Packer in the last part of this quarter from 30 metres. No trouble for his second. Good goal to the Eagles. Forward pocket for the Eagles. Nickel to ground. Bias, Zilla back to Totham. They go forward, the Eagles. They're looking for a good bounce. So they've got one more of an opportunity on his right leg around the corner. That's a snack for the goal-kicking genius, Scotty Wolf.
That certainly was a fantastic goal with the Eagles getting home by 42 points over the Double Blues. Well, let's take you live to the Adelaide Oval now and welcome David McKay to the program. And David, anybody's ball game at half-time, but in the second half, the Eagles kicked 8 goals to the Double Blues 4. Why?
Well, Ken, in the main, it was the Eagles centre-half forward, Stuart Nicol, and it just so happens that I've got him with me, so perhaps we can ask him while we've got him. Stewie, it was a great performance in the second half of the Eagles. Did you think perhaps at half-time that you'd end up winning by so much?
Oh, no, it's hard to say. I thought Sturt were, they were really trying hard and we were only a couple up. I think it was just we kept persisting and they dropped off a little bit in the last quarter.
There was always a concern that perhaps the Eagles' big men, I know Romano Negri was back and you've got David Newman in some pretty good form, but Kitchke, Schaefer, Jody Arnold, those blokes for the Double Blues were always going to be a worry for you, weren't they?
Yeah, well, it's a bit hard to say. I know Jody Arnold's been out for a fair while, so it's a bit hard to say how he was going to go, but I think our big blokes have been playing quite well, so, we just got to put our blokes against theirs and see what happens.
The point I was really making is that David Neiman today and yourself were in extraordinary form. I thought that was the best game I've seen David Neiman play.
Oh, Neiman's been playing well all year. He's each week he gets a little bit better. I think he's marking really strongly around the ground. He's doing well in the hit-outs, so he's doing everything we can ask of him.
Back to your form, you kicked 6 goals, 3 in the last quarter, and the Eagles only kicked 4 in the last term. You've had a stint with Footscray, a stint with Springvale in the VFA. Now with the Eagles, are you finding your feet here in South Australia?
Yeah, I suppose I took a little while to get used to it. I think I'm used to it now. Certainly a good standard over here, and there's a lot of pressure on all the time. It's a little bit different to what I've been used to the last couple of years in the VFA. They only have 16 men. They don't play wingmen. So when you're playing centre-half forward, you have a bit more room to move around. So over here, just from that fact, it makes it a little bit harder to get out on your own. There's a lot more contesting and physical work.
A lot of the forward work really rested on you today. Scott Morford, who has been a prolific goal scorer in the last 2 seasons, really was unsided today.
Yeah, I thought the guy, I'm not sure of his name, the guy that played on Scott Morford was really tight, and I know when I got it a few times and looked up to kick to Morph, he was really well covered, and that guy Threadgold played pretty well, I thought.
Other good players for you today, Ron Fuller out of the centre, Ruck Roving did a particularly good job.
Yeah, Ronnie always gets a lot of the ball and, he's always there getting heaps of possessions. He uses it well.
Well, you've been inconsistent this year. You've won 1, lost 1. Now you've won 2 in a row. Central District last week, Sturt today. You face West Adelaide next week. You must have some confidence.
Yeah, we've had our ups and downs, but I think we're just persisting and, things are starting to come together. Well, that's all we can do, We're not quite sure what went wrong in those couple of bad losses we had, but we just keep persisting and come good.
Oh, I hope you do next week. Good luck for the game next week.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks again, Stuart.
That's David Mackay live from the Adelaide Oval talking to Stuart Nicol from the Eagles, who booted 6 goals, and he certainly has been a very, very important recruit for the Eagles. If they are to do well in the major round, well, Stewie Nicol ought to be playing well at centre half forward. We'll be talking more about that game a little later with our special guest, Jamie Stevenson from the Double Blues, and also Stephen Guy from the Eagles. But first of all, Scotty, tell us about those fabulous guys at SA Video Warehouse.
I think you must be on a deal, Ken. They can get, I bet he doesn't pay for his videos. You can get a copy of the state game, SA Western Australia, from last Tuesday night, and of course pick up today's game, North and Nord from the Prospect Oval, at SA Video Warehouse. You'll find them at Weymouth Street in the city. They also have heaps of sporting videos and the latest release stuff as well. Pop in and say good day to Tommy Kerr and the team. We'll be back with more footy after this short break. Don't go away.
Sunday on 60 Minutes.
And welcome back to Live Football 92 and the results of AFL football today. Last night, of course, at the MCG. Fitzroy defeated North Melbourne today. Hawthorn in great form killed Melbourne. Geelong go on their winning way. 28 goals again today. Defeated the Bombers. Disappointing there. And the West Coast Eagles, 15-16, defeated Carlton at Princes Park, 11 goals at 16. And tomorrow, the big one at Footy Park, commencing at 5 o'clock. The Crows taking on Collingwood. That will be a big game, and the Crows will win. Richmond taking on Sydney, and Brisbane versus Footscray. Some big games, of course, tomorrow in AFL. But the Prospect Oval today, North Adelaide, fair dinkum, got out of jail, running out winners by 40 points. 16-13, 109 over Nord, who were in complete control in the first half. 10 goals, 9, 69. And the main goal scorers for North Adelaide, Burton 5, 3 to Turner and 2 to Atkinson and to Noonan. And for Nord, Malloy booted 3, 2 to Mello and Apindo, as we take you to the Prospect Oval with some highlights.
Not a good bounce. Goes straight down to Mancini, who gave it to Cree. Couldn't get an effective kick away. Mancini back in there again. Mark Marshall takes it, shrugs the tackle, drops in a short pass, and he finds Burton. He's played 155 games. He's kicked 191 goals. Make that 192 as the Roosters post their first. Quick hands out towards Kelly. This is Richard Kelly. He sits it up nicely looking for Malloy. Punched away from that player. Bennett, quick hands out to McCarthy, who chips out a little one. Just a pitching wedge, that one, to find Barrett. Barrett in turn over to Phillips. The Roosters look pretty sharp, and there's a loose player in Noonan. Timmy Noonan, 65 metres out, too far out to score. Burton charges out and takes a great grab, a classic leap. Not worth a lot. It's about 5 metres. He kicks from just inside 50. That's a gem. Straight through the middle. Picking it up is Phillips, looking in pretty good touch today. Drops it back centre field. The kick wasn't well measured. The ball goes out towards Kelly. He in turn to McIntosh, the skipper. Takes the direct route home. Shows a bit of toe as well, Macca. Running away from Klomp. The handball now goes back towards Patterson. He lines up the goals, but he was under a bit of pressure. But the mark's been taken by Malloy, who centres it nicely to Ace, who will pick up kick number 6. The Norwood champion, the South Australian champion, he's kicked 437 goals in his career, and you can make that 438. That's the Red League's first.
Macca goes through the centre, bounds his way into attack. The skipper is inspirational at the moment. Gives it to Ace. He's got to get it back again. Otherwise, he's in trouble. Chips out the pass. Tanner won't quite get there. Quickly in now is Kelly. Not Kelly. Pindo shoots around the corner. And the umpire said it is home. Oh, what a goal. Macca's produced another one.
Kelly comes out with the ball. It goes back to Macca again. It's a right foot kick this time. Looking for Malloy, who takes it on the third attempt. Malloy from inside 50 will kick from about 45 metres. The right foot kick is on its way. It's not a bad looking dob. I tell you what, he's kicked it, and the Red Leagues have their third and the lead. The Norwood youngster just dived on the football, and there's another grab. Talking of diving, he certainly looked in a lot of pain as Malloy lines them up and kicks his second in as many minutes.
And Robin from the defensive corner of the big centre square. Puts one long up towards the half-forward line. Stephen Rowe will be first there, close to the line. Gets it back there quickly now to Dan Tokia. McIntosh shrugs the tackle. Dan Tokia again. Patterson gives it away to Pittman. Here's a chance. Mello heads towards goal, puts it on its way. Oh, that is brilliant stuff, Norwood.
Klomp is in there. He's got to start leading from the front. He's got to get the ball out of the centre. Richard Kelly gets it over towards Rowe. He kicks from the 50-metre line. He's put through his first goal, and Norwood are going from strength to strength.
Gets it out now to Mello. Runs the gauntlet. Back now to Macca. Macca from 40 metres. Chips out the pass. Patterson. Kick number 5. The angle is evident. He's about 35 out. And that is just going trying to sneak in, I think. Patterson boots his first. Well done as Turner got it out to Atkins and in turn Barrett. He fires one out in towards Perkins. He's got this one. Well, they needed a lift there. Perkins is close to the line. Malloy kicked one from there. Perkins not confident. I think he's even... Yes, he's going for it, but he's put it up for grabs. This is not a bad kick. Oh, Bergman kicks the goal in any case. Don't know whether they paid the mark, but whatever. Goal number 3, and do you think North Adelaide ever needed that? McIntosh tries to keep the ball in play, did it well. Back to Big Pittman. The big fellow pushes out the pass. Mello needs a set. Couldn't find it. Saunders flanked there by Bradley Ryan. Oh, lead him. Great tackle, Tanner. In goes the Chief. Gives it away to Mello. Mello from 50 metres out. Puts it on its way. And that is home. Mello boots his second and North have blown it again.
Barrett is there. Nord have the numbers. Klomp at the bottom of the pack. He needs to get into the game. Noonan, very good in close quarters. Gets it out to Barrett, who drops out a pass and finds Peter Turner. And I think that's where the kick should have gone from the start. A very important attempt for goal. A deliberate approach. And a lovely kick to give Turner his first. And North Adelaide kicked their fourth.
An amazing performance by North Adelaide. Look, down and out, running out winners there by 40 points. And Michael Noonan after the game very, very happy with the work of his smaller players. We'll be talking more about that game a little later with Brenton Phillips, of course, back from the Bears, and also Mark Ducker from the Redlegs. But first of all, for the latest in the world of news, let's take you to the Channel 9 newsroom and Robbie Kelvin.
Thanks, Ken. The pressure is mounting on Transport and Communications Minister Graham Richardson to resign over the Marshall Islands affair. The Australian Democrats are threatening to use their majority in the Senate to force Prime Minister Paul Keating to sack him. The federal opposition also wants to move a motion of no confidence against Senate President Kerry Cybro. 140 children taken from homes occupied by members of a religious sect are still in protective custody. They were seized yesterday after raids on homes in Sydney and Melbourne. And it's been a very romantic day for Australia's best-known kisser. Fast bowler Merv Hughes walked down the aisle, and for once he turned his attention and his lips to the opposite sex. Those stories and more in National 9 News at 6. Back to you, Ken.
Thank you, Robbie. I'll be joining Robbie, of course, for the latest in the world of sport on National 9 News at 6 o'clock. But, Scotty, what happened in the twos today?
Well, I've got all the answers for you, Ken. The Eagles and Sturt had a reasonably close game. They've got 32 points close, but the Eagles got the money. Actually, North was the closest, 11-17 to North, 12-7 the margin there. 4 points. That's the twos. We're back with more on the ones after this short break. Don't go away.
He was the perfect gentleman.
Why don't you call me Sam?
She was a...
Welcome back. Well, the Adelaide Oval was the venue for the clash between the Double Blues and the Eagles this afternoon, and the Eagles got the better of the Double Blues. The final margin, 42 points, 17-13, 115 to Sturt, 11-7, 73. Goal kickers, Stevenson finished with 5 for Sturt, Arnold 2, and for the Eagles, Nichols 6 and a good effort, Schwarz 2, and Morford 2. Kenneth.
Thank you, Scotty. No doubt, of course, they'll be very happy with that particular performance today by the Eagles. Let's welcome our guest from that game, Jamie Stevenson from Sturt. Welcome, Jamie. And Stephen Guy from the Eagles. And we've got two good-looking blokes on my right, or one good-looking bloke.
Yeah.
No, excellent. Neville Robertson and David Mackay both saw the game, fellas.
A great game, Rock, wasn't it? First half.
was entertaining. But, Steve, firstly to yourself, Stuart Nicol at centre-half forward. If you've got final aspirations, 6 goals today, centre-half forward. I thought he was one of the best on the ground. He has to be important to any of those sorts of aspirations.
Oh, yeah, I think any centre-half forward's got to be important if you want to play in the finals. And Stewie today really found the ball well. And he's a very key player to our team.
Jamie, I thought the real issue today for the Double Blues, and let's make no mistake, your first half was particularly good. And I thought you could have won the game, by the way, but your second half was poor. But the real issue is your big men. They're very, very, very soft.
Oh, yeah, you could say that, but... you know, I think over the last few weeks in our disposal has been pretty ordinary, and I think, you know, the big blokes come to the fore if, I guess if the pass is there. But, you know, I think our big blokes are working a little bit harder. You know, we can all work harder, is obvious, because...
well, Jamie, what about the comment by David when he said your second half was poor? Is that a fair assessment or not? Being harsh?
I wouldn't say that, because I believe that we fought it out to the end. And,
just quickly, do you think you got caught with too many big men? I know the weather changed and that's uncontrollable, but you had yourself,
can't read these things.
Jody Arnold, Kiski.
Yeah, well, Jody has been out for 6 weeks, and he started at centre back on Stewart. You know, Stewart played really well, but it was probably a big ask for Jody because he's match fit. You know, wasn't match fit, and you know, I think he'll improve over the weeks for sure.
Steve, speaking of improvement, David Neiman, I thought today was the best game I've seen him play for the Eagles. And I know he's only young, and a lot of people, he's been around for a long time, 4 or 5 years. He's only 20 or 21, but he seems to be coming of age now. He really took the game apart.
Yeah, he's been doing that sort of spasmodically during the year, but he's slowly increasing it to do it the whole game. So he is really improving well.
Jamie, Seb Packer, every week he gets better. Young Rob Schaefer, young Brasher today. There is some things on the horizon for Sturt. It's not all bad news. Those three particularly, I thought they contributed well.
Yeah, well, you know, I think Seb's got a big future, and you know, the Crows have got him and that, and you know, he's just going to improve. He's
going to grow up being flexible, isn't he? He's playing everywhere.
He's moved one end of the ground to the other, but yeah, and it's the same with Schaefer. He's only 19, 6'5", 6'6", you know, and if he gets a bit of bulk, you know, he's going to be a player. Yeah.
Jamie, there was one player I saw in a different light today, Chris Threadgold, who played at full-back or back pocket on Scott Morford. Shut Scott Morford right out of the game. I've never seen him in that nullifying role. He did it superbly. He played a great game.
The best game that Threaders has played for us, I think, at the club. And he's had the flu all week, so, you know, that's a really good effort. So.
And Steve, consistency's been a problem. Is it going to be a good one or a bad one next week?
West Adelaide,
might have to toss a coin. Yeah, consistency's been a real bad problem.
Why?
If we could put our finger on it,
but surely that's in the hands of the players, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is in the hand of the players. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago and sort of tried to nut out why we're doing that sort of.
I reckon it's the coach. We'll start a rumour.
Steve, West Adelaide strengths, you've got them next week. Really, they're running players, but I thought your running players, Fuller, Schwartz, yourself, around the ground, your running players today were terrific. I think they can match West Adelaide next week.
Yeah, we realise that is Westie's biggest problem, you know, is their running players. So
I'll tell New Kelly that.
We'll have to get onto that during the week and make sure we cut them out.
Well, Steve, thanks for joining us, and well done today. And Jamie, let's hope the Labour Blues continue to improve. And so Jamie Stevenson and also Steve Guy. And guys, we have best players reports and injuries from that game, please. Best players for the Eagles: Neiman, Nicol, Fuller, Schwartz. For the Double Blues, it was Viney, Threadgold and Stevenson. And unfortunately for Double Blues, they have got some injuries. Dixon's done a shoulder, which is bad news for them. And John Painter left the field early in the first quarter with what appears to be a very bad back injury. No reports, boys?
No reports, but plenty of 50-metre penalties. Weren't they entertaining?
Not happy, Rocky. Could we? Oh, you'll talk about that. OK, all right, we'll follow that one along during the week. OK, Scotty, can Nigel Mansell win the San Marino Grand Prix?
Can he? Oh, is that a rhetorical question?
It is.
Well, actually, I think he can, because, I mean, he's had 4 from 4 outings so far. You can see it tomorrow night on 9:10:40, the 1992 San Marino Formula 1 Grand Prix, followed up at 20 to 1 Monday morning. You don't have to go to work, so you can sit up and watch the Rugby League Cup. Illawarra play Wests, and we're back with more footy after this short break. Today was a football terror of a game of mixed fortunes. Kenneth, don't shake your head like that. There's the final scores. The Roosters got the money, 16-13, 109 to Norwood, 10-9, 69. Goal kickers for both sides. North Burton finished with 5, Turner 3, Atkinson and Noonan 2 apiece. Whilst for Norwood, Malloy finished with 3, Mello and Apindo 2. Ken.
Thanks, Scotty. And North Adelaide getting out of jail today. I thought Norwood were clearly the better side in the first half and early in the third quarter, but gee whiz, a cool change came and away went North Adelaide. Let's welcome our guests on that particular game from North Adelaide, Brenton Phillips. Welcome to the show, Brenton.
Thanks, Ken.
And from Norwood, Mark Ducker. Welcome, Mark. And Kim Dillon saw the game. Kimbo.
Yeah, I think I'll go to Mark first. It's a rather obvious question, I suppose, but Mark, you had control of the game in the first half. McIntosh was in brilliant form. Acey until he left the ground at quarter time. Keith Thomas perhaps had the best half of football I've seen for years from him. He had everything in your favour. The rain came down, which should have assisted you, which in theory makes it harder for the opposition to get goals, but by gee, the wheels just fell off. You just couldn't take the ball out of the centre square.
Well, that's dead right. I mean, when the rain came, I thought we were about 4 or 5 up at that stage, and it's obviously a lot harder to score in those conditions. But North got the ball out of the square, and they just piled on the goals. They kicked 6 or 7 in that third quarter. 7, yeah. And we couldn't stop their run at all.
Stixie, I thought the turning point was in the third quarter, and Ken may remember this. He saw the game. Michael Redden made one of the worst mistakes. He kicked off the side of his boot, went straight to a Norwood player who didn't capitalise from about 30 metres out, kicked a point, and I could tell Mick got that angry with himself, and he bounced back into the game. He was the catalyst for all the attacks. He was giving the smaller players first opportunity. He started to take marks around the ground, and it just turned around like that.
Oh, yeah, I think Mick sort of prides himself on being a top footballer, and that sort of mistake's just not in his makeup. So he decided to set the wheels in motion and set us alight.
He certainly did that. Mark, are you a little concerned that Norwood can't run out a game of 4 quarters? You've been in winning positions now on a number of occasions against Port Adelaide at home in particular, again today, but you just can't finish a game off.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's fitness, even though we had probably a few blokes on the stake on Tuesday night, but I think North probably had a couple as well, so I probably don't think it's that. It's probably a concentration factor, I think. We're 4 or 5 up, perhaps some of the boys are relaxed subconsciously, instead of being at that 100, perhaps 98, and that's the difference between staying that sort of marginal pulling away or losing that sort of an advantage. So I think it's more of a concentration thing rather than perhaps a fitness problem.
Mark, I noticed Jonathan Ross came back into the side. He started in the ruck and Pittman started at centre-half forward. I've seen Norwood a few times in recent weeks and Pittman's been in fantastic form. I would have thought Jonathan Ross would be the more natural centre-half forward rather than Pittman.
Well, that's up for the selectors to decide, but I think for the balance of the side, they decided to go with Johnny Ross in the ruck because that's where he was playing his best football, and that's how he got into the Crows. And Pittman has been playing very well, getting 30-odd knockouts a week, what he's been doing. But he has played centre forward quite well in the past. Well, Johnny Ross probably hasn't performed as a centre forward with his opportunities he's had there in the past. So I think for the balance of the side, he decided to go with Pittman and Johnny Ross as a ruckman.
Sticks, what about the move of Perkins into the middle on McIntosh? As Kimbo said quite rightly, that McIntosh virtually controlled the game, but I thought the move of Perkins into the middle was a telling one for North Adelaide.
Yeah,
strong, isn't he?
Tim's one of them strong players that when the weather gets wet and gets a bit sloppy on the ground, he just thrives in it. And I thought that was a telling point. Gary McIntosh sort of cut us up in the middle of there early, getting the ball out, and we had a bit of a word at half-time about it. We made a commitment that we had to get inside and work harder at the ball. And that move of Timmy Perkins into the middle, I think, paid off in the end.
I thought it was good to see Peter Turner. He started on the bench. I really thought he was a player of the future, and I still think he is. And starting on the bench, he's obviously been down on confidence, but he got a chance, went into centre for the second quarter, and then up forward and kicked 3 goals and really did the job. And I reckon he might be back in business now.
I've been watching in the last couple of weeks. I really haven't seen a lot of him prior to coming back to Adelaide, and they talked about Peter Turner, how fantastic a year he had last year, the first half of the year, and he's really starting to look good on the training track, and I think that's where it's starting to come from. He's starting to run all night on the training track and working hard on the training track, and I think that's where most of the good football will stem from.
Well, Brent, thanks for joining us, and well done today. Great win to North Adelaide and Ducks. Let's hope the leg geeks can find that winning post for a change. Mark Duck and Brenton Phillips, and best players, reports and injuries. Kimbo?
Best players for North Adelaide, Phillips, Burton, Sanders and Atkinson, and Krieg has a hamstring problem, and for Norwood, Thomas, Dantokia, McIntosh, James, and Aish has an ankle injury, and their best players were all for the first half, not the second.
Thank you, Kimbo. And Scotty, what is happening on Adelaide Cup Day on 9?
We're having a holiday for one, but here on 9 we're not. A big day planned. 105, the SGIC National Stakes. We'll bring you these races live, by the way. 220, the Angus Brute Classic. 305, the big one, the West End Adelaide Cup. And, of course, at 5 p.m, we'll give you a delayed telecast, 1 hour of West Adelaide and the Bays. And we're back with more footy after this.
To create the best news service, it takes years of experience and know-how. National 9 News at 6. Simply the best news for years.
For $21,900 at Agostino Mitsubishi, she'll get lots of extras for no extra on Magna GLX.
4-speed automatic transmission.
Central locking.
A Sentinel anti-theft system.
Side striping.
And all the on-road costs.
$21,900 for Magna GLX.
Plus, lots of extras.
For no extra cost.
And at Agostino, I promise you'll always get a fair deal.
If not, I'll shave your moho off.
Strike me pink.
It's time for the taste, one number to call. Pizza Haven pizzas delivered to your door. It's a Pizza Haven way that makes it taste right. Quality and freshness in every single bite.
Now here's a real meal deal. Not one, but any 2 large pizzas plus a 1.25-litre Coke. Only $19.90. Just phone 131 2 for 1.
Turn on to the taste, one number to call. Pizza Haven pizzas delivered to your door.
Dial 131 2 for 1 for fast free delivery.
Our harsh climate can take its toll on our skin, removing essential oils. Piaf Perfumery have developed Vitamin E Cream Moisturiser to replace these oils. Vitamin E Cream helps smooth and soften your entire body, is non-greasy, and is rapidly absorbed, at only $3.95 for 300 grams. Vitamin E cream is exclusive to PR Perfumeries and Burke's the Chemist.
If you wanna see Top Gun bodies, turn the heat up for you. Gonna get your heart pumping while the center will do. See all the great cars sparkle inside. See them do the quarter mile in the speed of time.
Real horsepower hits town Adelaide Cup weekend as Wayville comes alive with 50,000 horsepower. The Advertiser Hot Rod and Street Machine Spectacular, May 15th to 18th.
If you wanna see Top Gun bodies, turn the heat up for you.
It's Sale of the Century.
Oh no, Alex!
Everyone wants a piece of the action.
Too right.
And a chance to be the richest quiz show winner ever.
I'd love to do that.
Brought to you by Mike.
Come on the back with me.
7 o'clock Monday night on 9.
And welcome back to the Footy Show. Of course, tomorrow at Football Park, it's the big one between the Crows and Collingwood. Commencing at 5 o'clock again, the Crows must win. Joining the panel now, of course, a very important member of the Crow side, but sadly he's out injured. Let's welcome Johnny Klug. John, welcome to the program.
KG,
Good, mate. John, how bad is the knee?
well, it just didn't come up after last week's games, just a little bit sore, so I'll just have a rest tomorrow.
No more operations?
No, definitely not, mate. Well, at this stage, definitely not. I've just got to see it comes up after a rest, but hopefully not.
All right, now, what about tomorrow's game? It virtually is, as I see it, John, a mini grand final for us tomorrow.
Yeah, it is, and the boys know that. 3-5 will be 2 games out now as of today, so very important game, just also to get back a bit of respect.
John, pretty hard coming off the last 2 weeks. Geelong, St Kilda both away, but it highlights the travelling and home ground advantage thing. It comes our way tomorrow in Adelaide, but Collingwood off a 10-day rest, they're going to be pretty hard.
Yeah, they will be, but I'm sure, as you said, the last 2 weeks have been very disappointing. We've had to do a bit of reassessing of where we're going and what we're doing, and I'm sure the boys will be fired up tomorrow.
John, I made the comment last week that the Crows struggle against sides that have big forwards. Now, Collingwood really don't have a Lockett or a Dunstall or a Lowe. I think tomorrow gives us tremendous advantage. The game's going to be wet. A lot of it will be played at ground level. We've got some quality running men. You'd have to say that at home, given those circumstances, even our bad form of late, we're a real good chance.
Yeah, well, that's right. I think they haven't got the big fours that we've been up against the last couple of weeks. And also we've got Brownie and Daryl Hart back tomorrow, so that'll help for sure.
Would you start Bickley in the middle, Rocky?
Well, it depends what they want him to do. They might want him to pick up Brown if he's starting in the centre, which is probably what's going on. Bickley's usually does the tag. I mean, he took Couch right out of the game at Geelong last week and did it brilliantly.
Still lost by about 20 goals. Do you think that's the best way to approach a game of football? If Jarman's our best centreman, shouldn't he play centre?
Spot on.
Well, I know that doesn't mean they'll line up that way, but isn't that the best way to approach a game?
John.
Well, hang on. Kim asked me a question. I'll like to answer it. One player can only do one job. Bickley did his job brilliantly last week. He beat one of the best centremen in the country, Couch. He went off the ground, and Bickley did his job. Now, if he's asked to do a job on Brown tomorrow, all he can do is do that job. If Corns wants to use Jarman for another job, well, then I agree Jarman should be more in the play, but you can only play one player in the centre.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. We'll get Kluge into this in a minute. But the point I was trying to make is not so much about Bickley, whether he did his job or not, but when you're trying to go out to win a game of football like we have to do tomorrow, shouldn't you approach it by playing your best side? And if he's not the best centreman in the side, well, I can't see his future being in the forward pocket.
Yeah, well, last week Jarman played in the forward line probably a bit longer than maybe the side would have liked, but the job was being done on Couch, and I guess the final decision was left with Corns.
John, how are the Crows going to have a look at Kelly and Starcevic? There's some suggestion that Kelly might even play at centre-half forward and Starcevic might even have a run on the ball. How do you see that?
Well, they're both very important players to Collingwood, obviously. They're very important to cut out. I think Ingerson definitely did the job on Kelly in the pre-season match over here. So
I thought he beat him very well.
Well, he's the type of player that perhaps has got the ability to beat Craig Kelly, who's obviously one of the best centre-half backs in the league. And Starcevic, well, we've just got to cut him out. I mean, we've just got to cut him out. There's no excuse.
John, how difficult is it to change sort of playing from Football Park to suddenly go to Moorabbin and Cardinia Park? It obviously is an awesome thing for the boys.
Yeah, well, it's not as difficult as we're making it. I mean, really, we've just been playing poorly. As Moorabbin, we've got to wait to a 4-goal start, so there's absolutely no excuse for that.
It's good to see Geelong kick another big score today, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're over the barriers. We can't do any more as far as adjusting to away games. We've just got to overcome it and basically just win.
Well, John, thanks for joining us. Let's hope that knee gets right pretty quickly. And that's the big game tomorrow, of course, at Football Park between the Crows and Collingwood. And, Scotty, what happened in AFL today?
Here they come, the final scoreboard from round 9 last night. Fitzroy, too good for North Melbourne. Hawthorn and Melbourne. Hawthorn got the money there. Geelong defeated Essendon. A big score kicked, as has been previously noted. West Coast defeated Carlton quite comfortably. As we flick the page, tomorrow, of course, we play the Crows, Richmond play Sydney, and Brisbane play Footscray. Footy punt today. If you had a bet, the Eagles paid $4.55 and North Adelaide paid $5.20. Ken?
Thanks very much, Scotty. And, of course, there's the premiership table as it stands at the moment, with the Eagles and North Adelaide the winners today. West Adelaide play Glenelg on Monday, and South Adelaide play the Bulldogs tomorrow at Football Park. But Port Adelaide on top at the moment, having the bye this weekend, and certainly a very, very interesting situation. Now, Neville Roberts, you were very outspoken briefly about the 50-metre penalty kicks today that the Adelaide Oval. What's the beef?
I didn't even have a hook on the line and you came in.
I did.
Oh, no, there was about 6 or 7 of them at Adelaide Oval today, and the rule was introduced for time wasting, and I think there was just a complete lack of understanding by the umpires today, and they were handed out like lollies, and I thought it had a bit of an influence over the game at that particular stage. 2 of them resulted in goals to the Eagles, and they just weren't there. They wrecked the game.
Well, Rock, I know how you feel about that. I went and had a chat at half-time with Desi Foster, and Desi said of the 5 that were given to half-time, there was only 1 that he was unhappy about, and he said where a player infringes across the mark, slows down play, he said there is one rule and one rule only. And I asked him whether they'd prefer a 15-metre penalty or a 50-metre penalty or both. And he said, no, look, there's just too many grey areas. The coaches have met with the umpires panel, and they're all happy with 50-metre penalty, providing the umpires rule them correctly. And he was happy with 4 of the 5 to half-time.
Well, I'm sure Trigg and Barn would have been happy with them today.
OK, comment there by Rocky Robertson. Of course, we've got 2 games to be played over the weekend. Now, Kimbo, South playing the Bulldogs tomorrow at Football Park, the early game, son.
Well, I'm running hot at the moment. I think South Adelaide will win because they're a very disciplined side, so whether it's dry or wet, I think they'll be too strong for Central.
Rocky.
South and the Tigers.
Oh, hang on, South Adelaide, OK.
I'll say this much. I know, I've been talking to the Bulldog camp during the week, they're going to come out with all guns blazing tomorrow, and I think South will win, though.
Monday, West and Glenelg.
I think West Adelaide.
Rock?
You've got mine, the Tigers.
The Tigers, and...
I like the Tigers. West Adelaide, without Modra, kicked a bag last week, might find it a little bit tough. And if the Tigers can't win a big one soon, they're history.
Well, they certainly are, and I've got the talent there. OK, I'm going for South Adelaide and the Tigers. Tigers to cause. Actually, Kels asked me not to tip West Adelaide, so I'm doing you a favour, Kels. OK, hope you've enjoyed the programme.
Crawled out of that.
I did nicely, didn't I, Rock? Thanks for coming. Look forward to having your company again next Saturday night at 4:30. But don't forget, of course, on Monday, 5 to 6, an hour highlights of the West Glenelg game. Bye for now.